Oh, yeah. Oh, how's it going, everybody? What is up? What is up? Well, isn't that just perfect timing right there? Hi. Hello. Welcome to the stream, everybody. I am your host, as always, Gulliver. And today, we're talking a little horror, talking upcoming horror movies. If it's ones that haven't been announced yet, like Scream 7 or Final Destination 6, Saw X, Insidious 5, The Exorcist Believer. We have so much to talk about, friends. I know it's May, but it's October all the time here. So come on in, sit on down. Let's talk a little horror. What's up, everybody? How's it going? Welcome to the stream. What is up? What's up? That Sounded Scary is here. What's going on, my man? How's it hanging? Saying dropping by to show my support at work. I'll be listening. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate that. Thanks for being here. Thanks for listening. Hope everything's going good at work. Hope it's not too bad. I see that Jason has been a member for a very long time. Jason, the nice one, saying, member for 3 months. Thank you so much, good sir. I appreciate you, Jason. Saying, hey, Jake, I'm excited for Saw X and Insidious 5. I'm excited for both of those two. Those are going to be fun movies. Those are going to be really crazy movies that I'm hyped for. Saw X and Insidious 5. Very different movies, but both very fun, I think. At least I hope. Viewer Anon put out something pretty interesting lately about Insidious 5 that has me worried, though, Jason. I will say. He said something to the degree of, I hope you're not hyped for that movie, because it's something. I don't know, man. I hope it's good. I don't know what that means, you know. I don't know. Once again, I'm paraphrasing here, but didn't seem like he was the biggest fan of that one, so I'm getting worried, getting real nervous. But a lot of people don't like some of the Insidious sequels. I don't know. I enjoy all of them, you know. Some are definitely better than others, but I, regardless, still enjoy most of them. Edward Duncan is here tonight, too, saying, hey, hi, Jake. Cannot wait for the stream to start because I got a lot to say on my dude. That is what these streams are for, Edward. Throw it out in the chat. Whatever you got, throw it on out there. Get it off your chest. Say some crazy shit if you need to. We'll get you through it, Edward. I promise. We'll get you through it. Welcome to the stream. Get the crazy stuff off your chest. I got you, man. Scott Walker's here saying, what do you think of the idea of Ghostface and an epidemic across America? People dressing up as Ghostface to support the cult, but law enforcement confiscates masks and costumes. And what? I don't know what that last part means, but I like the idea of Ghostface kind of being like a bit of like almost the virus, you know what I mean? The idea where it's taking over people's minds, like not in a literal sense, more or less just Reddit is infecting people. Like people are going to the stab subreddit and reading about how everyone's going Ghostface. It's a trend. It's a new thing. It's cool to do now. Everyone wants to dress up as Ghostface and start stabbing people. It's scary. It's like, oh shit. That could be really cool, Scott. I do agree that would be awesome. I'd be all about that. I would be all about something like that. That would be cool. Villain Killin' Dylan is here. What is going on? VKD? Final Destination 6, baby. Yes. I see someone watched the video today. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for watching that. So Final Destination 6. Did a big video on that. I worked on it all weekend. Hope you guys liked it. I was with some friends this weekend, but I still unfortunately had to work, but that's okay. Still had a good time regardless. So, yes, absolutely with Final Destination 6, I'm hyped for it. We got just a little bit of things here and there we got to talk about in the video, which was fun regardless. Oh, Critical Overlord is here. What's up, dog? How's it going? Saying, I just DM'd you the scrapped mark. No fucking way, dude. Oh, shit. Okay. Hell yeah, man. Critical, I see my phone is literally blowing up right now. What do you know? Critical Overlord's messaging me. I love it, man. Thank you so much for hitting me up with that. I appreciate it. I'm, what I talked about in my video today was about how if any of that kind of leaked into the new script we got from Lori Evans Taylor, is that her name if I'm getting that correct? And Guy Busick, who also penned the script. Jeffrey Reddick, I believe, has a credit. And the story was from our buddy from Spider-Man, John Watts, whose name I couldn't think of right off the top of my head. So you got to wonder if any of the not EMTs, first responders, if any of that leaked into this new storyline. As we know from the plot description, it's about a character whose grandmother survived a fire. So firefighters, come to mind. I wonder if maybe some of that leaked into there, or if they're just not focusing on that at all anymore. I'm very curious to read that though. Thank you so much for sending that over. I do appreciate it. Thank you. gonna have to check that out soon, man. Shout out to Critical Overlord, by the way. He makes some great, has some great videos over on his page. If you don't know who I'm even talking about, if you're like, what is Jake even talking about right now? Check out Critical Overlord. Make some great stuff. Logan C saying, sup Logan. How's it hanging? Welcome to the stream. Talking horror, talking Final Destination, Scream 7, bunch of fun stuff. What's up, the new YouTuber? Welcome. The Spicy General is here. I salute you, Spicy General. Welcome. Congratulations again, Jason, on the 3 months. Mystic Cyanide is here. Howdy, Mystic Cyanide. It's been a minute. Welcome to the stream, my friend. Howdy, hey. Ben Taylor saying hello. Welcome, Ben. Welcome. Love the Negan. Love the little Negan guy. That little fella in your profile picture. Welcome. Chase is here saying, what's the start of the conversation today? I guess Final Destination 6, which is a great place to start. A franchise I don't get to talk about too often, but I do love it. Big time. Don Keenum is saying, yo, Jake, glad I could make another stream. Welcome, Don. Welcome. I'm glad you're here as well. If you're a gamer, what game would make a good horror movie? For me, Outlast would be a terrifying movie. The Groom haunts my dreams still. I haven't played through that whole game. I played a little bit of it back in the day with like some buddies. Would love to go back through it again. But the great opportunity to self-promote a little bit, Don, I apologize. But as you can see right down there, subscribe to GullGotha, which is my new gaming page. And on Wednesday, I know I promised this last week, but for real, this Wednesday we'll be gaming. I'm going to be playing Resident Evil 4 on Wednesday. First time playing it, haven't played it yet. Trying to finish Resident Evil 2 right now so that I'm ready for it on Wednesday. So come on over. We're doing it 7 o'clock, same time as the streams usually on here, but we'll be doing it over on the gaming page, GullGotha, formerly Movie Smoothie. So go subscribe, check it out. We're going to be doing gaming streams now throughout the week. It's going to be a lot of fun. So I'm very hyped to start doing that as well. It's going to be a fun time over there. Chris is here as well. Hang on, Chris, just one moment. I didn't answer Don's question. I self-promoted and then I almost skipped right over you. Don, I'm so apologize. I apologize. My apologies again. What I will say, my favorite, a horror movie I'd love to see them get right in a movie is Resident Evil. I just feel like we haven't quite gotten that 100% yet. I love Resident Evil so much. Dead Island, I think, would also be another great one. Zombies on an island. I can't get enough of those flicks. One of my favorite zombie movies takes place on an island. More and more of that. Blood and guts with a beach setting. Oh, that's just wonderful. Everything I could possibly want in a zombie movie right there. Dead Island would probably be my number one choice in that case. Would love that. But back to you, Chris. What's going on? How's it going? Welcome. Toronto Maple Leafs. Go Maple Leafs, my friend. Saying, any news on Nosferatu yet? Not a whole lot, but at some point I do want to make a big video on this. I'm very excited for this film. Robert Eggers is directing. I can't remember if I know Bill Skarsgård is attached to it, not 100% on Anya Taylor-Joy. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I would love to make a big video on that at some point because I'm very excited for that. Very excited. Critical Overlord saying, I would hope Stephanie is an EMT, but Marcus Dunstan had a character named Vanessa as the lead. Interesting. Okay, well, that did come from Production Weekly. That is likely to change. The what was the working title or whatever? Final Destination 6 Bloodlines. Who knows if that's still going to be the title after everything is said and done. Have some plot updates for Guy Busick's Final Destination 6 as well. Well, we're gonna have to talk after this stream, Critical Overlord. I would love to go back and forth with you on this. That'd be very cool. Very cool. PE is saying, hey man, did you watch Beau is Afraid? I did a review on it. Man, that movie messed me up. I've never been more psychologically traumatized. I took my brother to that as well, and he was just upset. he was just upset. He was just so upset by the by the film. It's truly it's a mind fuck, I think is the best way to describe it. It's something else. It's something else that I can't believe it. Well, look at you, Critical Overlord. You're going above and beyond here. Just throwing this all out here. Stephanie's grandmother is named Esther. She survived a tower collapse in the 60s. Where are you getting all this information is my question. I did so much research on this past weekend, and I know nothing of this. And that's why that took so long to get back to her family, because she also saved hundreds of others. So that kind of delayed it a little bit in Final Destination rules. I believe this will loop in the previous entries with those characters being relatives of the 60s tower survivors. That's a lot. That's a whole lot of crazy stuff right there. That would explain the Bloodlines title. I still hope they don't do that, but but still, it's like subtitling your movie Resurrection. You know what I mean? It's just, you get a little nervous seeing a subtitle like that. You know what I mean? But hell yeah, man. Oh, okay. Audition tape. You have an audition tape. I see. Understood. That's awesome. I'm glad you got your hands on that. Seems very interesting. I'm excited to check it out. I did a video on all the public information you can find out there for Final Destination 6, though. So check that out. Check that video out. I just posted it today. Had a lot of fun making that and doing research on it. A lot of crazy things I found out about just the history of Final Destination and how it's taken so long to get the 6th entry out. I did a lot of research on that, and it was very fun going into all of that. Probably one of the most fun videos I've made in a while, or one of the most fun I've had making a video in a bit. A lot of crazy stuff behind that one, which was nuts. Gangster Bro is talking about, would you rather have a George Romero-styled Resident Evil trilogy or one masterpiece of a Silent Hill film as a psychological horror? God, that's so tough because I want both of these things so bad. I want another killer Silent Hill film, and I don't know what it is, but I just love Silent Hill, the latest one. the one, it's not very good, but I love it. I still love it. It has like an 8% on Rotten Tomatoes. The sequel to this first Silent Hill movie, I think is just so fun. It's just a fun movie. It's a very dumb movie with crazy CGI and all that. But regardless, I love it. I very much so love it. It's a lot of fun. I would love to see George Romero, what his take would have been on and with Resident Evil. I believe he directed the trailer all the way back when. So that would be cool. That would be awesome. I would love to hit on. I would love both of those things. Like really, I'm so split 50-50 on that because we have a new Silent Hill movie coming. We have a new Resident Evil movie coming, and I hope at least one of them is really good. You know, Jake's got his fingers crossed here. Come on. Two of my favorites right there for video game wise. Daniel is saying, I have a strong feeling in Saw X that we will be in for a huge surprise twist and ending. We could get the son of Jigsaw himself. That would be crazy. We got that picture of Jigsaw sitting on a bench with a kid. Who knows who that is? Hopefully he's not saying something to the degree of, you stole candy from another kid, so you will die in one of my traps. That would be crazy. I'd be like, Jig, dog, not that you've already gone too far, but now you're going even farther down the line, dog. Jesus. Hopefully that's not the case. Maybe it's a pleasant conversation, you know? Let's hope. Let's hope to God. I'll send you the audition tape. I appreciate the hell out of you. Thank you. And a Maxine audition tape. Ooh, very cool. Very cool. I'm excited to do a big video on Maxine as well. One of the movies I'm very hyped for. Would love to see that this year, but who knows? Who knows when that bad boy's coming out? I'm just very excited for it. Whenever it comes out, it could come out in 3 years. I'll still be excited for it. I don't care. How impressed! I was so impressed with X and Pearl, man. I just can't wait to see what else they do. It's gonna be awesome. Malik is here as well. What's going on, Malik? Saying, do you think the writer's strike could push back a lot of horror projects like Crystal Lake and Welcome to Derry? Absolutely. Yes. I don't know if I've said this yet, by the way, but I'm in total full support. The writer's strike. I'm so glad that that they're doing this. All the love to our writers out there. Hopefully they get some better wages and everything else. All the love and support. Hopefully it's all successful. Do want that to happen. But yes, we could see some pushback. I don't know if it's going to be, I read an article recently that was like, we're going to get 6 months of nothing and no movies and all that. I don't know if it's going to be that crazy. I really don't. I really think it's just going to be like, yeah, maybe just some delays on some movies and shows and all that. I don't know if it's going to be, like cataclysmic, like no movies and shows for like this long duration of time or whatever. Maybe just some delays. I don't see it being anything too out there. So. What else do we got here? Chase is with us tonight. What's going on, Chase? Welcome to the stream. Saying, how old were you when you started loving horror movies? I was terrified of them at first. I watched the David Arquette film called Eight-Legged Freaks, which is a super goofy movie, but it scared the heck out of young Jake. I was way too young for that movie, and spiders scared the heck out of me when I was a little baby. So that scared the heck out of me. When I started loving them was probably way later in life when I wasn't horrified of them, and I really got to get into them a little more. I used to be a big like just animated movie guy. I liked I was like I like horror, but I'm terrified of it. And then I started watching it more, and I'm like, actually, this is fantastic. I love horror movies. What am I talking about? I didn't like being scared for the longest time, but now I do. Now I really love being scared. It's 90% of what I watch is horror movies nowadays, which I think is really funny. So yes, I slowly became less and less scared of them over time and learned to love them, but I was terrified of them for the longest time. I think that's why I like them so much later in life, because it always felt kind of taboo, you know. It was scary. It was the scary movies. You wanted to, like what the hell's happening there, you know? I love it. It's a lot of good stuff. A lot of fun stuff out there. Daniel is with us tonight. What's going on, Daniel? How's it going? KillJoy Jake, when I was in high school, I wrote a story called Freddy versus the Wolfman. Freddy Krueger versus the Wolfman. Who wins that fight? Does the Wolfman dream? Probably. So I would say Freddy wins that fight personally, if that was a versus movie. But I don't know. Maybe it played out differently in your story, Daniel. I love it. I love it. Good stuff. Stranger Things 5 will release in 2040. I can't wait that long. I can't relate. What? I can't wait that long. Jesus, by then all the kids are going to be like 30. That's an exaggeration, I know, but holy crap. Critical Overlord, we just got to get on me and you just got to get on a stream at some point and talk about all this. 2040. What? Holy crap. Holy crap, Lois. Okay, anyways, Hollywood Guy's throwing $5 out there. Thank you so much, Hollywood Guy. I really appreciate that. Thanks for the support. Saying, Jake, will you ever do or think of doing a horror movie tier from best to worst? Like, how would every horror movie like that video would be? I don't even think I could upload that to YouTube. That would be just 12 hours of me flapping my gums. But would I do like maybe my top 10 best horror movies that I love, and maybe my least favorite? So here's my approach to just doing videos on this page now is I used to just try to get like every update I possibly could, cram it into a video, and I don't know, I'm starting to get to a point where I'm like, I want to do just big videos on a bunch of different topics. So like I did a big video on Final Destination 6 today. It was a lot of fun. It's doing good so far. I appreciate you guys for watching it. That's probably what my approach is going to be from now on, like big ranking videos, big just everything we know about like upcoming movies and all that, on top of, you know, my Scream 7 theories and all that. I'm trying to go off of, I'm trying to find a balance between like what the audience wants to see versus something I want to make as well, and find like that middle ground, or if there's something for both of those categories that kind of comes together. So I don't know. I was doing the updates for the longest time, trying to be like, you know, trying to get them out quick and all that, and now I'm like, I want my content to keep growing. I want to keep growing and get bigger and better. So I'm just trying to do something a little more. I don't want to say like relaxed, because that's not the right word, but I remember in the past it was like the goal was, you know, this update just came out, so I got to make something on it like right now. I want to start taking my time, doing a bunch more research than I usually do, and just improve the overall quality of the video. That's kind of my big thing. So there will be a lot more ranking videos and reviews on this page for sure. That's definitely going to be a focus moving forward. And then also, you know, the gaming channel will be another focus as well, Hollywood Guy. But what I would absolutely do something I've been meaning to do this every year, actually. Sometimes I just forget. On my birthday, I like to do just my top 10 favorite movies right there, right then, which that changes all the time. You know what I mean? That changes all the time. You'll watch something and you'll be like, wow, that was fantastic. You know, I didn't realize this, but maybe this is one of my favorite horror movies right now. And that list is allowed to change. You're not, you know, you're not supposed to have like, here's the 10 horror films that are the best and that will never change for the rest of my life. That's not true. You know, our opinions constantly are changing. There's no way you can have just one list and that's it for life. You know, there's always going to be more movies being made. You're going to find something from the past that you love, or something that like just maybe is diminished for you because you've watched it so many times. Various different reasons why something could move up, move down, whatever. So I would love to do an updated list though, because I did one, I want to say back in 2021, that I probably no longer agree with, because I have a whole different landscape of movies that I think would be my top 10 now versus when I did it all the way back when. So maybe on my birthday, maybe sometime soon, I don't know, but it'll come out, I promise. I am going to work on that video just for you, Hollywood Guy, because I do want to make that. It's been in the bank. Been in the back of my head for a little while now. But I appreciate the $5. Thank you so much. Yes, we will do that. We will best horror movies that I can think of. We'll make it happen, my dude. What else do we got here? Do a tier list. I'll watch 12 hours. You'll watch Logan, I appreciate you. I appreciate you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. I don't know if I could talk for 12 hours, but I would attempt it just for you, Logan. Just for you. Gunner is saying, hear me out. Have you watched Eurovision? If you're talking about the Will Ferrell movie, is that right? That's like a Will Ferrell comedy movie. I never saw that, but I heard of it, and I heard like mixed reviews on it. Some people really liked it, some people didn't. I have not seen it though, so I really have no opinion of my own. But I will check this one out just for you, Gunner. Eurovision. If that's, hopefully, maybe we're thinking the same thing, but I don't know. Like, I remember there's a Will Ferrell movie with that title, potentially. Jason Carpenter, another great question and another great opportunity for me to shamelessly promote. Oh man, it's gonna be a goofy stream. I apologize, but that's a good thing, right? Goofy's good. Goofy is good. Jason Carpenter, have I played the Resident Evil 4 remake? I have not played it yet, but I will start playing it this Wednesday on GullGotha, which is my new game channel. If you are subscribed to Movie Smoothie, it's the same thing. I just turned it into the gaming channel now. All the movie stuff is going on to this page from moving forward. So always gonna have a horror focus, like I've always said on this page, but we're gonna start talking about more stuff as well. I talked about Guardians of the Galaxy 3 last Friday, which was a blast. I loved that movie. Highly recommend seeing it in the theaters. And I'm going to try to have a review out every Friday on a new movie. It's just going to be a new Friday series. Just something. If it's a new movie, if it's something I just want to talk about as well. Bunch of stuff. Bunch of different stuff. So, Jason, I will be able to say yes to this question after Wednesday. I'm going to start it then. So we're going to play through it and do a bunch of gaming streams over there. So go subscribe if you have not already. It's going to be a lot of fun. Ty Lee is here. What's going on, Ty? Welcome to the stream. I watched The Frighteners for the first time last night. Very good movie. Nice. And loved it. It did so many things well that other movies tried to emulate with lesser effect. Ooh, very nice. Very nice. I'm glad you like that one. I would recommend the remake as well. I think I like the original more, but the remake's underrated in my opinion, Ty. So check it out. Check it out. It's got Toni Collette in it. It's got what's his face, who unfortunately passed away. Anton, yeah, I can't remember his last name, but he was like he was in some of the Star Trek movies. Man, unfortunately, we just lost him too soon. Unfortunately, rest in peace. Seriously, but that actually pretty solid remake. I thought it was fun. It has some cool moments to it as well. Lighting Ghost is here. What's going on, Lighting Ghost? How's it going? Thanks for being a KillJoy cult member, and you're throwing $10 in there. I just appreciate the heck out of you. Thank you so much, sir. Saying you better get some chicken nuggets with this or else. Oh, okay. I will. Don't hold me at, I can't. Can I say that on YouTube? I say that too much. I say that way too much to myself. I will absolutely get some chicken nuggets just for you, Lighting Ghost. I will make that happen. Oh, man. But thank you so much for the $10, man. I do appreciate the support. Thank you. Anton Yelchin, thank you, Maxwell. I appreciate that. I'm real bad at remembering names, unfortunately, which is a real shame. Real shame on my part. Carter Scotland Allen is here. What's going on, Carter? How's it going, man? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing well. Been a long time. Gotta hit you up sometime. We gotta do a big stream or something. Saying, Jake, any excitement for the Meg 2? I don't know. I don't know if I'm excited for it, but I'm going to see it. I enjoyed the first one. I thought it was fun. I don't know. I wasn't losing my mind over it or anything. It was kind of just a Jason Statham action movie with a gigantic shark. I was like, okay, yeah, sure. I don't know. I'm gonna see it. I hope it's good. I'm shocked that movie got a sequel, honestly. But I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna check it out, and maybe it's good. Maybe it's a good time. I'm excited. I'm just excited to see it and review it. I'm starting to dip my toes into some weirder movies to review. I'm a little more confident in that. So I'm excited to see where all that goes. It's gonna be fun. What else do we got here? You know what? Let's throw this out here. Maxwell's asking, Goofy, Donald, or Mickey, which is your favorite? Man, that's honestly a good question. Goofy is pretty goofy, man. I really do like me some Goofy. Donald Duck, crazy voice. I do like that as well. Mickey Mouse, though, the icon, the mouse himself, the face of the company. I feel like it would be kind of a normie response if I said Mickey, right? So I'm gonna go with Goofy here. Yeah, I like Goofy. They all got good voices. What am I talking about? I like all their voices. Goofy's my favorite out of that bunch, though. Just keeping it mildly on topic here. I love it. Jason is saying, how about Scream 6 winning 2, not 1, but 2 MTV Movie Awards last night? Best film and best fight scene. Love it. Well deserved. Scream 6 is a banger. Very happy that it won. I'm actually like, I was like, wow, best fight too between Gale Weathers and Ghostface. Nice. I don't know what it was up against. I couldn't tell you what. I unfortunately was not able to watch. Jake was a little busy this weekend, but best film and best fight. I thought that was awesome. Very happy it won best film, but yeah, I was actually kind of surprised that it won best fight as well. Not to say that fight wasn't bad, but not to say that it was bad, but I just was like, man, there's probably a lot of good fight scenes. You know, it's really cool that one won. So I'm very happy for it. Very congratulations to Scream 6, everyone who was a part of the film, and the movie made a bunch of money at the box office and won a bunch of awards. Love it. Love to see it. Good stuff. Always happy to see the Scream franchise winning in any scenario. You know, I'm just happy for that. Love it. Love it. Love it. Ty is saying, I never knew there was a remake. That's crazy. Glad to hear it's actually decent. I'll see it. Yeah, you know, don't expect better than the original. I will say that. It's not, you know, it's not a perfect movie, but it's fun. And it's decent. Like you said, it's got some cool stuff going on in it. So check it out. I watched that a long time ago, actually, with my dad. So it's a good movie. It's a lot of fun. Gunner, dog, you're asking a lot from me right here, man. Like, I am terrible at pronouncing things. I will butcher that. Like, I'll do it if you're okay with me butchering it. And I wouldn't want to offend you. You know, I wouldn't want to do that. So that's my way of just not doing it so that I don't say something wrong. We had Johanna in the chat. I don't know if she's here tonight, but I remember I was just so like, if I fuck this up, I'm gonna this person's not gonna like me. They're gonna be really mad. And I got it right. I got it right. It was a total shot in the dark. I was like, yes, let's go. Oh man. Do you, Logan is saying, do you like Suspiria, the remake? Yeah, I need to rewatch it, Logan. That's a great question. The first time I watched it, I had like, I really did like it. I thought it was shot really well. It had some weird things going on. I wasn't like the craziest, biggest fan of it, but I need to rewatch it. I've heard a lot of people talk about it recently, and I just feel like I need to do a second watch. I've only seen it once, and I feel like maybe I missed some of the stuff going on. I would love to do another rewatch of that one. I watched it before I had seen X and Pearl, which was kind of like my first like, oh shit, like Mia Goth is actually a killer actress. You know what I mean? I don't think that clicked with me until I saw those movies. So I'd love to go back and watch that one and just kind of like, with everything I know about like Mia Goth as a performer, some of the other movies she's been in, including what I just mentioned, and also like Infinity Pool. I would love to go back and watch that just with all that in mind. I've also never seen, is it like Nymphomaniac or whatever? I believe she's also in that. I've never seen that either, and I'm like, oh shit, that's crazy, man. I would take 100 horror movies with Mia Goth in it, I guess is my point, and I got to go back and watch some of these. I'm like, shit, maybe I didn't appreciate these as much as I would have thought I did. So I'm excited to go back and kind of revisit some of these movies, because I love the original Suspiria, and I really did enjoy the remake. I just didn't, I just thought I was like, yeah, I definitely like the original version better, but I want to watch it again. Like I said, I really want to watch it again. Maybe I'll do a review of that actually sometime soon. That would be cool. Austin Daniels is here. What's going on, Austin? How's it hanging? Welcome. Yo, Jake, I've arrived. Any horror news? Because my focus has been on Guardians and the MCU as of late. Haven't paid too much attention to horror news. I have also been, I've also been very, very hyped on the MCU right now. My thoughts are, you know, I'm so happy that Guardians of the Galaxy 3 was good. I loved that movie. I thought that was a blast. I was like, wow, this feels like old school MCU. This is great. Maybe we're finally getting back to what makes these movies so good again. And that's my heart talking. You know, that's my hopeful, optimistic heart talking about the MCU. But then my brain is telling me, no, actually that film was just good because James Gunn wrote and directed it. But I want to believe deep down. I want to reach deep down in my heart and say that the MCU is back and we're making good movies again. But who knows, man? You know, I don't know at this point. I'm hoping. I'm hopeful. You know, I'm rooting for the MCU, just like I said in my review last Friday. I'm rooting for them. I really want them to. I want them to make some killer movies again. You know, haven't been super impressed with some of the latest entries, but got my fingers crossed that moving forward we get some good movies. Hopefully the Marvels is good. I actually kind of enjoyed Captain Marvel. I'm not saying it was the best Marvel movie or anything like that. I thought it had some cool stuff going on, but maybe this one will be good too. I don't know. Once again, I'm sure there's a lot of people watching right now who are just like, dog, I don't know, man. And I'm in the same boat. I don't know. I really don't know. I want to, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Let's hope it's good, but I doubt it. I have my doubts. There's the cynical side of Jake that wants to come out and just be like, it's all going to be trash for moving on from here on out. I don't know though. I don't know. I could be totally wrong, and I hope I'm wrong. I really do. I hope it's good. I hope whatever we get moving forward is fantastic. Gashead. What's up, Gashead? How's it going? 654321 saying, hey Jake, what do you reckon, what movie will do better in the box office, Saw X or Five Nights at Freddy's? By the way, love your content, dude. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I love you too. Can't wait to see more. Keep up the good work. Thank you. Well, welcome to the stream. First of all, welcome. I don't know if I've said hello to you, so welcome. Hello. Come on in. Sit on down, as I always say. Saw X or Five Nights at Freddy's, what's going to do better at the box office? So this is actually kind of a tougher question than I would say. Because Saw X is a franchise that has been very lucrative for many years. Spiral didn't do all that well, though. Spiral did kind of just fine at the box office. It made, I believe it made like double its budget back, but that's not crazy. I think it had like, once again, this is off the top of my head, but I believe it had like a $20-something million budget, and then like it only made like 45 back or something, so it didn't do crazy good. Will Saw X make a lot of money? I don't know. Honestly, if I had to bet though, Five Nights at Freddy's, and the reason why I think this is a little tougher than just saying like, oh yeah, easily Five Nights at Freddy's. The reason I say that I don't think it's so cut and dry, like yeah, definitely that one's gonna make more money, is because Five Nights at Freddy's is also going to Peacock the same day it drops in theaters, so that might hurt its box office performance. I'm not 100% sure though. We haven't seen it affect box office performances that badly, but like I just think about like if Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends didn't go straight to Peacock, we might have gotten, those movies might have made like way more money. Halloween Ends struggled to make it over 100 million. I imagine that film could have made 150 million. I mean, no matter what, however you feel about the movie, you guys know how I feel about it. I still think that movie could have made more money if it just didn't go to Peacock. So who knows? That is a really good question, honestly, because I think that both of these have potential to bomb and both of these have potential to make some good money. Here's what I'll say about Saw X too. I'm still leaning towards Five Nights at Freddy's making more money there, but if Saw X is actually good, if Saw X is like really killer and is like people are like, oh, this is great again, this feels like a return to form for the franchise, I think it'll make some good money. I don't know if it's going to go nuts, but I have faith in it. I really do. Blaine Baxter is saying, I have a feeling Saw X will be really awesome. At least I hope anyway. I agree. I really do think it's going to be good. We have a lot of great people from the past attached to this project. I think it's going to be a good movie. Noah Atkinson is saying, Jake, please hear me out. Noah, I always hear you out. You know that. You know that, man. Come on. Scream 7 killers should be played by the guy from Stranger Things and Timothée Chalamet. I believe you brought this up last time, Noah, and I agree. I think that would be cool. Docker Montgomery, is that how you pronounce that name? Yes, I think he would be an absolutely killer lead Ghostface. That would be awesome. Kills it in Stranger Things for sure. So I would love to see him play a Ghostface killer. That would be awesome. Really cool. Hollywood guys throwing another $5 in there. Thank you so much for the support, man. Once again, I really appreciate that. Thank you. Saying, okay, Jake, did you enjoy the new Mario movie and did you expect it to go beyond 1 billion in sales? So I did enjoy it. I really had a fun time with it. It was way better than I expected it to be. Honestly, I didn't think it was going to be, I honestly didn't think it was going to be good. So I was really happy to see that it had, it kicked ass. It's making a bunch of money. I believe it's like the highest grossing, video game movie of all time. If I read that correctly. I would love to do a big video on video game movies. I don't know if I have adjusted the audience to beyond horror talk at this point. So I don't know if I want to just go all in with that video yet. But at some point I want to make a video covering video game movies just in general. Would love to talk about that with kind of the first big video game movie was Mario back in the 90s. So now that the new Mario is like just kicking ass, it's a perfect time to do a big video on that. So I'm thinking about it, I did really enjoy it, though. I posted a review on the second channel, which is now the gaming channel, but I might actually re-upload those reviews over here just to have them, because I really did enjoy those. I thought I had some cool things to say, hopefully, but they were fun movies. I enjoyed them. Well, the one movie you're talking about, I enjoyed. But Dungeons and Dragons I thought was interesting, but I ultimately wasn't a huge fan of it. But it had some cool things going on, though. You know, it wasn't all bad. Had some good stuff. But Mario movie I had a fun time with. It was cool. Hollywood Guy, thank you for the $5, though. I do appreciate it. I expect a Mario sequel at some point in the future. I will say that for sure. So, Joe. First of all, I see our friend the Dreaming Insomniacs is here. Joe, I don't want to put that on the screen if you don't want me to. But what I will say is all the love to you, my man. I hope you're doing all right. I'm terribly sorry about that. I don't want to, you know, once again, I don't want to, you put it out in the chat, but still, I don't want to put a spotlight on that if you don't want that there. Don't worry about any of that in the second half of that. I hope you're doing okay, and all the love and support sending your way. I'm going to send you a message after this stream is over on Instagram, but Joe from the Dreaming Insomniacs, I hope you're doing okay, man. Seriously. All the love, and I'm terribly sorry for your loss. All the love, man. So sorry about that. Anyways, everybody. Sarah Campbell is here. What's going on, Sarah? How's it going? Welcome. Finally saw The Pope's Exorcist this weekend. Nice. I was surprised by it. I don't know if I would say I was pleasantly surprised, but you were pleasantly surprised. Good. And also very underwhelmed at the same time. I did not read the rest of that, and I'm so glad I did. I have kind of the same thoughts. The scooter scenes had me giggling. Your thoughts? Apparently the books are... That's so... Dude, Sarah, I lost my mind. That was the last thing they showed us, was the subtitle, "The books are good." Okay? I lost my mind in the scooter scene. I was cracking up. I was the only one laughing in the theater. That's fine. I'll be the only one who finds that funny. It's all good. But yes, I agree with you. Like, there was a lot of moments of that film that I was like, this is way better than I ever thought it was going to be. Like, at certain points, the ending especially, I thought the third act was actually really strong. The setup, not as much. My issue with the setup was that it was kind of just the same thing as The Conjuring, and then the family ended up being completely redundant to the plot overall. You could have done that whole thing at just a creepy chapel somewhere with no other characters except like some priests. So I was just very confused. It made me feel like they were trying to do like a Conjuring thing and try to bring in that audience into this film. And apparently it's getting a sequel, which is something I said in my review would never happen, and I'm very shocked by that. I love Russell Crowe. I think he's a great actor, but that was the best part of the movie, was his performance. The script was fine. It was okay. It was pretty generic. But the big standout from that film, the reason I gave it a 5 out of 10 instead of like the 3 out of 10 I probably would have given it, was Russell Crowe's performance was excellent. So if they make another good movie, if they make another movie, I just hope the plot is a little better and maybe a little more concise, works a little better together. I agree. I had some moments really stood out to me, and some moments not so much. And it kind of mostly fell flat for me. But I do agree, there was some moments that I was like, this is pretty good. Some of the CGI here is pretty well done. But I don't know. There's a lot of moments that felt like that was just directly ripping off The Exorcist as well. So it was really tough. But Sarah, I totally get where you're coming from with that. I kind of had a similar experience, I think. So thank you so much for the support, Sarah. I appreciate that. And I hope you had a fun weekend just watching horror movies, hanging out with some people, hopefully. I don't know. I don't know. Hope you had a good time, though, regardless. Awesome stuff. Charmy Challenges. I love this name, Charmy Challenges. Oh, saying, Jake, what do you think of my idea for Scream 7? It should follow Sam and Tara and the other survivors in a Netflix documentary for true crime dramas, and Stu comes back to hunt them down. Ooh. If Stu is alive, I hope that he just does something insane. If Stu is alive, he comes back, I just hope he just goes out on a fucking a bang, just something insane if they do bring him back. You're already getting into crazy, ridiculous territory. If you're just gonna do that, make the whole movie insanity. You know what I mean? Just have Stu blowing people up with a grenade launcher or something like that. Like if we're gonna make it ridiculous, go all out. You know what I mean? Don't just dip your toe in that pool. Go all the way, man. So sure, hell yeah, man. I really want a grenade launcher in there somewhere, I guess is my point. is my big thing about that. So I love it though, Charmy challenges. I love it. Keep the ideas coming. Keep them rolling. Blaine Baxter is saying, will your fan film Red Right Hand have a sequel? I loved it. Well, thank you so much, Blaine. I really appreciate that. I'm glad you liked it. I hope you liked all the gross things we were able to do in that film. What I will say is we are working on something regarding Red Right Hand, but we're also working on an original as well. So we have an original film in the works and then something regarding Red Right Hand lurking in the background. That's all I'm going to say. All I'm going to say for now, Blaine. So all the love, though. I'm so glad you enjoyed it. I really am. That makes me so happy. Lighting Ghost is throwing $5 out there again. Thank you so much for the support, man. Thank you. Have you heard of Markiplier's new horror movie? Yes, and I saw the trailer, which I actually appreciated the trailer. It showed nothing. It showed absolutely nothing of what's going to happen in that movie. And I was like, okay, all right. The premise seems insane. I believe it's about like a sealed submarine in a sea of blood, if I remember that correctly. It's called like Iron Lung or something like that. Is that correct? Am I crazy? I feel like I've read that somewhere. This is another one that I want to do a big video on at some point because I've been a big fan. I actually have watched Markiplier for a long time. Is that cringe to admit? I don't know. I like Markiplier though, personally. I watch his videos from time to time when I'm watching gaming stuff. And I like him. I think he's funny. I think he's a talented guy. So I would love to do a big video on that at some point. I missed out doing a big video on Charlie, Moist Critical's horror movie that he was in, I want to say like a year ago now. So I don't want to miss my opportunity to talk about this. That would be very cool. So at some point soon, I will be doing an Everything We Know on it because I do want to talk about this one. I thought it was really cool that he's just doing a horror movie. I'm like, oh, sick. I got to see the guy from Critical. What's the guy from Critical Role? He made a horror movie called Dementia Part 2, if I'm remembering correctly. And I was like, oh, okay. And I checked it out. It was really bizarre and really interesting. So it's great to see YouTubers go and make movies. I think that's awesome. So I think it's fantastic. Would love to do a big video on this as well. So Lighting Ghost, thank you for the $5. I'm absolutely going to do make some kind of content relating to that at some point. So Villain Killin' Dylan is also throwing $5 out there. Thank you so much, sir. I appreciate you. Thank you for the support. Saying, I took my girlfriend to see Evil Dead Rise, and it was so gross and gory that she had to go wait in the car. Oh, man. It was the eyeball scene. Shit. Oh, shit, man. I had such a blast with that movie. I've seen it twice now. I got to see it recently with some buddies, finally. I've been really meaning to do a rewatch. And you guys pointed out so many things that I missed the first time around. I paid a little, I was really locked in, laser focused this second round. And I'm like, oh shit, there was even more things about this movie I didn't even catch the first time, which was awesome. So I loved that about Evil Dead Rise. I think it's a killer movie. So gross, very gory, a lot of fun. Hard to watch at certain points. I'm so sorry that your girlfriend wasn't as into it, but it was very gross. It was very gory, and the eyeball scene is iconic. It's amazing. If you have not seen the film, we are not spoiling anything. I promise you. You have no idea what you're in for if you have not seen it yet. So check it out. It's a blast. Villain Killin' Dylan, thank you for the $5, and I hope you enjoyed Evil Dead Rise. I'm sorry your girlfriend did not, but I hope you did. So thank you. Thanks for the $5. What else is going on here? What else are we all talking about? Ghostface in space, saying manga maniac. Scream, Bloodlines. We're in space now. That would be nuts. Charmy is the name of your chameleon. Is that the little fella right there in the profile picture? I love it. What's up, Charmy? Oh my god, this is wonderful. I absolutely love it. Okay, do you have a whole channel dedicated to a chameleon? Because if you do, that's awesome. And I need to know all about it, and I need to subscribe right now. If this is the case. Even if you have one video, I'm subscribing. I hope you know that. I love animals. I love chameleons especially. I think they're so fascinating. But that is awesome. That is fantastic. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 if you have any chameleon videos. Would love to see it. Holy shit. Jonathan is hanging out with us tonight. Thank you so much for the $5, Jonathan. I appreciate that. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream, my friend. Saying favorite VHS segment, mine is Safe Haven and the subject. Great choices. Timo Gijanto is so underrated. Can't wait to see what he does with the Train to Busan remake. Yeah, first of all, great choices. Timo Giganto's sketches, both of them, I think are top tier, maybe some of the best in the whole franchise. It's really tough to say because I think some of my favorites are definitely some of the weirder ones, like what you're talking about there. Just to talk about two others that you didn't mention there, I really like the zombie found footage one from VHS 2. I think that's a very underrated one. Very scary, but also very silly at the same time. And I like that mix a lot. But I also love the Storm Drain from VHS 94. That's probably my number one favorite. I was kind of obsessed with Ratma for a little while there. I just thought that was so awesome. The fact that there's this cult in the sewers worshiping a giant rat monster. I'm like, that is the coolest thing I've ever seen on film. I was obsessed with VHS 94 for the longest time. And I still, sometimes if I'm just like, I need a movie, before I go to bed or whatever, I'll just put on VHS 94. I might watch a VHS movie tonight. Those are so much fun. I don't think I'll ever stop watching those movies. They're blasts. All of them. All 5 of them are so silly and ridiculous and crazy and sometimes really scary too. But The Subject and Safe Haven, both directed by Timo Giganto, I don't even know which one of those I like more. Probably Safe Haven, but The Subject is so impressive. You have basically Timo Giganto doing Tetsuo the Iron Man, which I think is awesome. In just like a short little little tiny horror short, and it's super impressive. The effects are amazing and super brutal and bloody. I love it, man. I don't even know what my favorite one is there. I think Safe Haven is probably the one that most people rave about the most from VHS 2. This is the one I feel like most people would say is maybe the best VHS segment, and it's another one about a cult. So that's why I like it. Anything involving cults has my interest immediately. I'm fascinated with that element to horror movies. And Safe Haven does it really well, man, and also has some killer practical effects. But I love both of these so much. Seriously, great choices for your two favorite VHS segments. Okay, another underrated one real quick from VHS 99 is Flying Lotus's segment all about the game show. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but that one was also, I love it because it's gross and I love Flying Lotus's style so much. He blows my mind with every project he's attached to. So yeah, that one is also up there for me as well, but it's almost too gross. Like it's almost to the point where I'm like gagging. I want to throw up. It's so bad, but I love it, Jonathan. Thank you for the $5. Thank you so much. Great. I could literally talk about VHS all day long. I love that franchise. Hollywood Guys throwing 5 in there as well. Thank you for the support again, my friend. Thank you. Riddle me this, riddle me that. Who was your favorite? What? What are you talking about? Are you talking about? Is this? Are you the Riddler right now? Are you trying to get me to say Batman?
I'm Batman. I'm Batman. Oh God, I lost my voice. I'm so sorry.
What'd you guys think of the new Batman, by the way? I know it's not new anymore, but I really enjoyed it. I had a really fun time with it. Got it recently on 4K. There was a little sale. It was only like $10, which I thought was awesome. So I had a really good time with that one. Paul Dano's growing on me as a villain too. I wasn't huge about him the first time I watched it, but there's a couple more times watching it, I'm like, okay, Paul Dano. I feel it. I just watched Prisoners with him recently. I don't know if I was crazy about the overall story, but I thought he gave a killer performance in that. So great movie, Hollywood Guy. I love it. Thank you for the $5 though. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. New take on the Riddler. Thoughts on The Fly? It says Abacus Stabacus with maybe my favorite profile picture of the night so far. I love it. Thoughts on The Fly? David Cronenberg's The Fly is my favorite horror film. I love it so much. It's a horrible tragedy, which is why I love it. Anything with a dark ending piques my interest immediately, especially when it's set up so well. And it's so tragic. It's such a horrifying, tragic movie, which is a big reason why I love it so much. And even though the concept lends itself to a very silly premise, but they play it straight the whole time. And I think that's why it works so well for me, is you have this outrageous concept that's so ridiculous and so like it just pure insanity. Some of the visuals in the movie are just goofy, just outright goofy. But because the tone is played so straight, it's terrifying and it's done so well. I love that about that movie. You mix that with a good tragedy, I'm sold. It's my favorite horror film. So really love it. I recently got the Fly box set. All of those movies are very fascinating to me. I really like all of those. So Very fun movies. Very fun overall. So even the old ones I recommend are very fun and just good to put on with some buddies, you know, because they're very cheesy, you know, the effects are crazy and all that, but it's cool. I like it. Cat Bread. What's up, Cat Bread? Dude, y'all are killing it with the profile pictures tonight. Can I just say that? Yeah, all of you guys. If it's Charmy with the chameleon, if it's Cat Bread, laser cats with breads on their faces, I can't get enough of it. I love it. Would I like to see Stu in Scream 7? I think that there is a good way to bring Stu back, which will get audiences going nuts, and it's not going to fuck with the timeline at all. You know, there's a way to do it, I think. I don't necessarily think they need to say that Stu's been alive this whole time, but what if Stu was on a videotape deep in the Meeks Martin attic up there that Randy had filmed before everyone had started going Ghostface and killing each other? You know, Randy and all them were friends beforehand. What if we get a whole sequence where Jamie Kennedy comes back? We could have the whole cast from one come back for this sequence, which would be awesome. Like, that's why we want Stu to come back, right? Because Stu's amazing. We love him. He's a great character. We'd love to see him on the big screen one more time. So why not do it here? Let's find a VHS tape up in, you know, Martha's attic. And we'll pop that bad boy in, and Stu and you know, Jamie Kennedy running around doing some things. Maybe we even get Skeet Ulrich. That's how Skeet Ulrich could be in it. Maybe he's no longer Force Ghost Billy. He's on a VHS tape. That would be really cool, in my opinion. And then you have all these characters coming back for some kind of plot point. If they're talking about like the future of all of Ghostface or whatever, if they're talking about something that relays back to the past and it gives our new characters a bit of information that they didn't have, something along those lines. I would be so down for that personally. That's middle ground that doesn't mess with continuity. You don't have to explain that Stu was hiding in a basement for 30 plus years for some reason. I'm down to see that. So do I want Stu to come back? Yes, but with a caveat. You know what I mean? But the asterisks, you know, and in the fine print, it's got to be a certain way, you know. But they can absolutely bring him back. They can bring Randy back. They can bring all these characters that you love back on a VHS tape, just like how they brought Randy back in Scream 3. Why not? Why not? It would be fun. We all kind of want him back, you know, just a tiny bit. We all kind of do. I love him though. Matthew Lillard, just an amazing actor. Would love to see more from him in this franchise. Charmy is saying there are a few videos of her on there. She's so pretty and sometimes very aggressive and turns into a horror villain. Aw. Well, Charmy challenges, I'm literally, I don't even care. You know what? I might be live on YouTube and I should be a professional, but I love animals and I can't help myself. Charmy challenges. I'm subscribing to you right now because I love chameleons and I'm fascinated by them. There you go. Just got yourself another subscriber, my friend. I'm looking for your chameleon video right now. Okay, I'm on a live stream. I gotta focus. I'm sorry. I love animals. Oh my god. Okay, sorry. Focused. Okay, horror movies. Focusing. I have too much fun doing these streams. I remember hearing Neil Gaiman say once that he always felt like someone was gonna knock on the door and say, you're having too much fun. You got to stop. You got to go back to work. And that's literally how I feel every time I do this. I'm having way too much fun. All right. Anyways, Villain Killin' Dylan is saying Scream 3 is your favorite again. Hell yeah, man. Scream 3 is a lot of fun. Scream 3 is, and any Scream movie is my favorite while I'm watching it. I heard someone say that one time, and that's pretty much how I feel. Scream 3 it's a blast. Like I watch it, you know, and I'm expecting, it's Scream 3. This is, bottom of my ranking movie, but I still like it. But then I watch it and I'm like, okay, actually this is awesome. Like this is a total vibe. Oh wait, Parker Posey's amazing in this movie. Oh, Gale Weathers actually has a pretty good arc. Wait, Dewey had a funny there's things you forget, you harp back to the things that you dislike about a movie, but then you watch it again, you're like, wait, all of this is so much fun. What? I love Scream 3. It's a blast. I give it too much poop. I really do. Because Scream 3 is a banger, man. I can't argue with that. I can't argue with it. It's a banger. Any of the Scream movies are any of them can be your favorite. And I think that's what's so great about this franchise. They're all good for totally different reasons. They all got something else going on that the other one doesn't. And I think that's really cool. So they're all a lot of fun. Brandon Oreo, what's going on, my friend? Throwing $2 in there. Thank you so much for the support. With a little Batman in the profile picture. We got a theme tonight. Little Batman going. I love it. I love it, man. Saying, yo, Jake, how do you see the Scream franchise ending? You know, I think that's what's so interesting about this franchise is like there's an ending point in every movie where you could say like, okay, that's it. You know, that's the end of this story. But maybe in the future, there'll be new characters who get attacked by Ghostface. With how lucrative and how popular the Scream franchise is, does it need to end? You know what I mean? I think that if you're in the mindset that all these movies have to stay connected, then yes, it needs to end at some point. But I'm of the opinion that you can make a new Scream movie that has nothing to do with the other films. That is entirely possible, in my opinion. Just like how Guardians 3 stood out from some of the other MCU movies recently because it really has no connection to the other films except for the other Guardians of the Galaxy movies. I mean, you know, they bring up Endgame, they bring up Thanos and all that, but like, it wasn't like, oh man, we're setting up something for another movie in the future. There wasn't a whole lot of that wasn't the focus of the movie, where there are entire MCU movies that are just setting up something else for the future. And I've seen those movies and I'm like, I'm just not crazy about them. But then I see something like Guardians 3 and I'm blown away. I'm like, this is fucking awesome. This is the superhero movie I've been waiting for, like for years now is what it feels like. So with the Scream franchise, I have a similar feeling. If they keep going down the route of trying to make everything connect, everything ties back to the past, it's got to be the same characters every single time, I think then, yeah, the Scream franchise needs to end. But it's such a good concept, and there's always going to be someone different behind the mask. I say we keep it going. Like, let's just keep it going. We can end the Sam story maybe in the next movie, maybe in 2 movies, and then start it up with other brand new characters. And what's wrong with that? You know what I mean? We finished the story. We finished the storyline with Sidney Prescott. I'd love to see her come back again at some point into the franchise. That would be very cool. But I don't know, you know, at this point, if you try to write another killer who's specifically going after Sidney Prescott, I'm just like, I don't know. You know, we've done that 4 times and I love those movies, don't get me wrong, but I just want the franchise to stay fresh. So here's what I'll say, Brandon, to answer your question in full. If we get to a point where every Scream movie that comes out is just same old, I personally don't feel that way about the franchise yet. That's not where I'm at mentally with it. Then I say we need to end it because we're just not doing anything original. If we get like 2 or 3 movies in a row where it's like, this is just, I don't know, this is just, you're not adding anything new to the conversation, then yes, then maybe it needs to end. But I'm in the mindset that this franchise has the potential to go fucking crazy. Like, we could do some crazy shit with it. We still haven't seen every kind of killer motive I think that a Ghostface killer would have personally. We've really only touched on like 3 big motives for the Ghostface killer. So I'd love to see some other things explored in future movies that I think we can still do. There's a lot that lends itself to the concept. So I'd love to see more. I'd love to see more Scream personally. But Brandon, thank you for the $2 though. I do really appreciate it. Michael's hanging out with us tonight. What's up, Michael? How's it going? Thanks for the $2. Saying if Stu's still alive, Ethan is still alive. I like what you did there. Michael. I see. I hear you. I hear what you did there, and I like it. Yeah, that TV's just terrible at killing people. Is what I'm hearing. That's what I'm hearing about it all. But yeah, yeah, you'd almost have to do that at this point because of what they do in Scream 6. A lot of commentary on the Stu theories in Scream 6, which I found very fascinating. There's a lot, and listen, even if you agree with it, if you don't agree with it, if you really want Stu to come back, if you really don't, no matter what side of the fence you're on, I just like that it's thought-provoking. I like that you can pitch your crazy theory about this one side or the other, and we can just have a whole conversation about it. That, to me, is what I love. That's what I love about this franchise, and that's why I think it could go on forever. But we gotta, if we don't keep building that fire of conversation, if we don't keep throwing logs on there and we're just throwing same old, we're not adding more to the conversation, then the franchise dies. You know what I mean? That's where franchises go to die, when you start doing just the same thing over and over again. You're not adding anything to the conversation. If you hated Scream 6 for the little plot inconsistencies that it has, I think you can at least appreciate the fact that it adds more to the question. We finally got to see a section of the movie from a Ghostface's perspective. And that's so interesting. That opens up so many possibilities for future movies that don't follow the exact same format as basically every other Scream film. So I think that, Michael, I know I'm going on a rant here, but I think that would be really cool. I don't know. I think there's so much more we can do with this franchise that is left untapped at the moment that we can still hit in the future. So Michael, thank you for the $2 though. I do appreciate it. Perry is hanging out with us tonight. What's up, Perry? Thanks for being a KillJoy cult member. I appreciate the support. Saying Infinity Pool literally got me hyper when it ended. So good. Perry, I gotta ask. I gotta ask if you watched it on VOD or if, well, actually it's not in cinemas yet, but for our friends over in Australia, I do want to say the movie Infinity Pool finally comes to theaters over in Australia on May 11th of this week. So go check it out. It's one of my favorite horror films from the year. Maybe my favorite, maybe number one. I'm very on the fence about that, but I loved Infinity Pool. I thought it was a blast. You want to talk about a movie that makes you think, a lot of thoughts behind it. Perry, and that final shot. Oh God, it's such a good movie. Love it. 10 out of 10, killer movie. Perry, I'm glad you enjoyed it. But check it out if you're one of our friends from Australia. Go check it out this weekend. I apologize if I spoiled it for you at any point on a live stream. I'm just finding out today that the movie is premiering in Australia just now. It's like, oh shit, man. So go check it out if you're from Australia though. Go check it out. Go see it in the cinemas, in the theaters. Killer movie. Love it. That sounded scary. It is just showing up. Hello from work. Hello. Welcome. Welcome to the stream, my friend. Welcome. ZZM is also here. Once again, thank you for being a KillJoy cult member. We appreciate you, ZZM. Saying, I honestly think that Ethan is dead because the glass on the TV was sharp. Catbread saying something that I'm thinking. Saying the same thing I'm thinking. Glass was also sharp for Stu. Just saying. Another thing I do want to bring up about Ethan is I know he was technically the person running around stabbing people during the Annika sequence, but I don't know. It just makes more sense to me if it's Detective Bailey, personally. I think it makes a little more sense if it's the detective there and Ethan was really at Econ, because Meeks Martin twins could have just checked that out. They could have just been like, no, you weren't in Econ, actually. That class doesn't exist. Or, maybe he is in Econ, he just skipped to go kill people. That could happen too. But I don't know, man. I just think it makes more sense that Ethan wasn't there, personally. That's just my crazy opinion, but still. You'd want an alibi, if the Meeks Martins could just go to anybody who's in that Econ class and be like, was Ethan there that day? And they could be like, no. So I don't know. It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense for me for Ethan to be the one that is killing people in that scene, personally. But that was just a random thought. Just a random thought came off the head, ZZM. Movie Fan is here. What's going on, Movie Fan? Thanks for the big super chat. I appreciate you. Saying, hey, Jake, you're one of the best guys on YouTube to me. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm gonna start crying. So wonderful. What are your thoughts on the movie Heat? And who do you prefer in general, De Niro or Al Pacino? Great question, my friend. I just got the movie Heat, which is hilarious. It was $5 at Best Buy for a Blu-ray. Admittedly, it's not the most interesting looking Blu-ray, but it was like $5. I'm like, yeah, come on, $5 for one of the best action movies ever made. So there's my thoughts. Killer movie. Fucking amazing. Like a little bit of a slow burn, but it's got some crazy shit going on throughout it. But I love it. We have De Niro and Al Pacino on screen in a movie together, which is crazy. And they kill it. They're both amazing. Who do I prefer, De Niro or Al Pacino? I mean, some of the best. Some of the better actors maybe of all time. I think I gotta go with De Niro, I think, but I love both. Like both are fantastic. I've definitely seen more De Niro movies though. That I will say that. Al Pacino, unfortunately, one of the things that I think of when it comes to him is the bit in Jack and Jill where he's selling, he works for Dunkin' now and he's singing the Dunkachino song. That's Jack and Jill, right? That Adam Sandler movie. Obviously that is not how you should, not the best role Al Pacino's ever had, but, Al Pacino is of course in like Scarface, probably the biggest role. Say hello to my little friend. You probably all have heard that or seen that at one point, but that's, I mean, a killer movie, maybe one of the best from De Palma, but holy shit, dude. That's such a good question because I think both of these actors are truly some of the better ones ever to do it. But I've definitely, like I said, I've definitely seen more De Niro movies, so I'm leaning more towards him. I've seen him play, not to say that Al Pacino isn't versatile, but I've seen more different types of roles that De Niro has played versus Al Pacino. Once again, I'm not the expert on Mr. Pacino, but De Niro movies I've seen, like Taxi Driver is so different from like his character in Heat, I would say. So yeah, I like both, but that's such a good question. I'm sorry. That's such a good question, movie fan. I love it. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you so much for the support, my friend. I appreciate that. Good question. Heat is a killer movie if you guys have not seen it. If you're feeling action, if you're like, need a good action movie I've never seen before, check out the movie Heat. Very, I don't want to say it's underrated because it was like it was like an event film almost. It was so big. But killer movie if you've never heard of it, if you need a good action movie to go back and check out. Highly recommend it. Midnight TV is saying it's Alejandro, just changed my YouTube name because I launched a channel. Well, welcome, Alejandro, or welcome, Midnight TV. Alejandro from Midnight TV is here. Welcome. I'm excited for you and your channel. I hope it goes exactly as how you planned it to. And good luck. Good luck to you. I hope you kill it on YouTube, whatever you're going to do. All the love, my friend. All the love. Calder Prime is saying his character literally turns into Springtrap, so the TV gave him the power to turn into a killer robot. You know what, man? I'm also not against this. You know what I mean? I mean, that would just be, if we're gonna make the ridiculous Scream movie that's just like whatever, we're throwing our cares to the wind. We just want to do some crazy shit in this movie. Sure. I like crazy shit in movies. You know what I mean? It's I just love it. I love crazy movies, man. Funny stuff, man. I love it. Perry's throwing $5 in there. Thank you so much for the support, my friend. Thank you, Perry. Thanks for being, I don't know if I said this already, Perry, but thanks for being the KillJoy cult member too. I probably did, and some of you are rolling your eyes, but that is okay. Perry, we appreciate you. I also saw Possessor Uncut. Sean Bean had a brutal fucking death. Cronenberg has a bright future. Yes, Perry. I just recently rewatched this. I've had Infinity Pool on the brain, and I really want to get that movie because I need to see it again. I'm just blown away by that film. But Possessor Uncut it's a masterpiece. The regular version is good, but the uncut version really solidifies a lot of the crazy weird shit about the movie that you might not get in the regular version. But I totally agree. Brandon Cronenberg is one of the directors that I have anything he does, anything he is attached to, I'm there day one. Like, I've just been so blown away by all three of his films. If you've never seen Antiviral, I recommend it. I will say probably the lesser of his three movies, but still really good and very thought-provoking. But Perry, I can't wait. I can't wait for whatever else he has in the future. Possessor, I think Possessor objectively is probably his best movie, but Infinity Pool is my favorite. There's so many weird, gross things in that movie. It was very thought-provoking too. It's very smart. It's a very intelligent movie that it really resonated with me the first time I saw it. Same with Possessor though. Like both of those are killer flicks, dude. But I recommend Antiviral if you haven't seen it. It's I want to say Possessor Uncut came out in 2020 and Antiviral was maybe more like 2012. But I recommend it, Perry. Check it out. Check it out if you haven't seen it. Thank you for the $5 though. I do appreciate it. Brandon Cronenberg, everybody. Keep a spotlight on that fella. Chris is asking if we're getting a new Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie, not related to the next Netflix one. There's been little rumblings about it, my friend. So there's been rumblings about Texas Chainsaw for a while. The last confirmed thing we got was that there would be a sequel at some point to the Netflix one. There was kind of not in active development, but it was we might do this. However you feel about TCM 2022, it was one of the biggest horror releases ever for Netflix on their streaming platform. So it wouldn't be a surprise if they made a sequel to that. I'm not against it. Like I said, as I've said with TCM 2022, I wasn't blown away by it. It wasn't my favorite horror movie. It's not my favorite in that franchise, but I thought it was much better than some of the other sequels though, for sure. It literally is a chainsaw massacre that happens in Texas, even though it wasn't filmed anywhere near Texas. But don't worry about that. It's fine. I enjoyed the film though. I thought it was fun. It was a bloodbath. The kills were excellent. So, I mean, maybe the characters weren't that great, but hey, kills were good. A man with a leather face came out and chopped up some people with a chainsaw. That is all you can expect from a movie titled Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I got exactly what I came there for. So I'm happy. I'm happy with it. I had a good time with it. Jason Carpenter is asking another good question. Jake, when will we see a trailer for David Gordon Green's The Exorcist? So probably around the same time that we had gotten our trailers for like the Halloween movies, for instance, which was like in midsummer at some point, like June or July kind of area is typically when we had gotten those for the past 3 Halloween films. So we'll probably see it here in like a month and a half is my guess. I wouldn't expect it this month, but maybe, you know, the film, I believe they wrapped it recently. But I would imagine we get a trailer for it, like I said, like late June, early July is my guess. To start advertising October movies. You typically want to do like 3 months before your movie comes out is when your first trailer should drop and slowly build into an ad campaign. Now, what I will say about this one, Jason, though, which is kind of an outlier to that, is The Exorcist is starting a whole trilogy of movies, and Blumhouse is kind of taking a big risk here. You know, Jason Blum has talked about this a little bit, saying that, you know, this is a risk. With Halloween, we kind of knew it was more of like a surefire hit with how big that franchise is. The Exorcist as a franchise isn't exactly a super popular one. You know, we have The Exorcist 3, which is a blast and a killer movie, but, you know, however you feel about the other Exorcist sequels, they're not exactly like the biggest, not exactly like big hitters with horror fans. A lot of people are not a big fan of Exorcist 2 or the other 2 films that I believe came out in the early thousands. So as a franchise, it's not like people are losing their minds over it. You know, the original film was one of the biggest horror movies ever made, obviously, and super important to horror history. But as a franchise, I don't know if there's too many people who are like hyped for a sequel. I feel like there's more people who are nervous, very cautious to an Exorcist sequel because it's kind of hard to recreate that magic. It's like doing a new Blair Witch movie, which a new one of those is happening, which that's a new bit of news, I believe, from this past weekend. But it's kind of like doing a new Blair Witch movie is such a hard task because that movie came out right when the internet was in its very early days and you could kind of, I don't want to say abuse it, that's not the right way to say, but they manipulated the internet to make people think that this new thing, this new movie that was releasing in theaters was real. And a lot of people bought into that. A lot of people were hyped and went to that movie and saw it and was like, oh my God, that's so upsetting. These are real people who are in the woods and getting attacked by something. What the hell's going on? And it never confirms that there's a monster, so it's brilliant for that reason. But it's only brilliant because of the ad campaign. If it hadn't had that, who knows? You know, maybe Blair Witch would have just been like a weird horror movie from the 90s that people had forgotten about. But it's kind of cemented itself in horror history because of that. So I kind of feel the same way about The Exorcist. I don't think it needs to be a franchise, and I feel like a lot of people kind of also feel that way because of how it was just a culture impact shock thing back in the early 70s when it came out, because movies just didn't do what The Exorcist did back in the early 70s. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe to bring it all full circle, though, essentially, Jason, I do think they're going to go hard with the ad campaign because they need this to be a hit if they're going to make 3 movies. If this movie doesn't make a whole lot of money, you know, they're not going to make 2 more movies. So I will say the ad campaign is going to be very strong, very crazy for this one. We might get a trailer earlier for that reason. So we could, honestly, realistically, we get it in like a month and a half, but it could come out any time now. So that's what I will say. What else do we got here? Oh, this is a good one from Scott, saying, do you think there's something else? What do you think happened to the camera Gail left at Stu's house at the party? Do you think they found it or the police found it? I think Stu has it at the end of the movie. That could absolutely be something that we come back to. And once again, another way to get Stu implemented into the next film. He could be just walking around in the background. We get a whole nother scene with him at the house during the events of Scream 1, which would be very cool. And maybe that leads into something in the future with Scream 7. You know, that once again, they are tie into the past, which all these movies are obsessed with, where I pretty much accepted that every Scream movie is going to do something like that, even though I feel like they don't have to. I don't think it's necessary, but every movie insists on doing it. But I don't know. I could see something like that coming back into play, or, you know, a VHS tape that Randy had concocted, or maybe it's this. Maybe Gail has this lying around somewhere and rediscovers it. As we know, she is still alive for now. That might change in the next movie, but you never know. But I'm excited to see what happens. I'm just excited for any more Scream content. Hopefully we get that announcement soon. And hopefully it does come. Do you think we will ever get the third Collector movie? Brought this up in the video today. The director spoke about it not long ago, but all we heard was he's still wanting to make it. Yes, so Marcus Dunstan and Patrick Melton, those names, I oftentimes swap the last names and fuck up sometimes. But yes, I think that eventually we'll get this movie. I really do. I have faith. I'm being an optimist here, but I would love for this movie to happen. Especially because I love the first two Collector films. I think they're both very interesting. Even the sequel, which I don't know is better than the original, I still like it. I still really do like it. It expands the world of what the Collector is and how far his roots go, how far his reach expands, and I think that's really interesting. And I'd love to see what the Collected adds to the situation as well, because it felt like a great duology of movies. It felt like this is all the story we need to tell, you know, from one to where two ends off. If you've never seen it, I highly recommend checking them out. Don't get it spoiled for you. Just go into those movies blind. So what the Collected would have added to the table, what that would have added to the conversation, the franchise, I don't know. But we got a lot of pictures of the Collector harassing people at a police station. Tom Atkins was supposed to be in it, which I think is really cool. Killer actor, legendary actor that you probably know from Halloween 3. But yes, I hope that, I really do hope it happens. I guess is what I have to say about it. I don't know if it's going to. Obviously, we have had no update on it for a very long time, but I would love for it to happen. I would love for Marcus Dunstan and Patrick Melton just catch a break. You know, I mean, they've had it rough. They've had it rough with the producers just ghosting them on that movie, which is crazy. But anyways, what else do we got? What else are we talking about? Gashead654321 is saying, yo, Jake, thanks for the shout out, bro. I appreciate it a lot, of course. What do you think of the Strangers movies, as apparently they're filming a next installment? Are you looking forward to it? Yeah, dude, apparently they're making 3 Strangers movies, which is, it's always nutty when I hear something like that. Like Fear Street, I remember, was just like, yeah, we're doing 3 movies, we're releasing them like back to back to back. And I'm like, okay, we're gonna have a whole horror franchise on our hands here. And this is becoming a lot more popular to do this. Like, just make a whole horror franchise just in one go like that. And it's like, holy shit. I have not had time to go back and rewatch the Fear Street movies, but I really do want to, because I felt like I just kind of like, I banged them out. You know, it was just like bam, bam, bam. They all kind of came out right next to each other. I feel the same way about the Strangers movies. I hope they're not just making 3 movies to have 3 movies. Give me, you know, the first Strangers movie, maybe next year. Maybe the next year, give me the next one. You don't have to release 3 movies back to back to back. I love what they did with X and Pearl. I was so happy to get a continuation to that in the same year. That was awesome. And obviously they had a lot of time. You know, that's a bit of a different situation because they filmed those back to back, yes, but they gave it some time to stew before we got into Pearl, which was a very different film than what X was. And that's kind of how I felt about Fear Street. Like, they were all very different movies, but they all kind of came out around the same time, so they all kind of like blended together in my head. That's why I really want to go back and just watch all of them individually on different nights instead of just trying to bang them out and just watch all of them. I hope they don't approach the Strangers movies the same way, I guess is my point. I want them to just give me a solid movie, and then if you want to do another one, go ahead. But we don't need 3 movies back to back to back. You know, I hope they. Hopefully they understand that. I actually do really like all 3 of the Fear Street movies. They were killer, but like I said, I don't remember them all that well because they all just kind of came out at the same time. I remember instances from them, but I want to go back and watch them. I really had a good time with at least the first 2 for sure. Like the first 2 I thought were killer. So I'm excited to see what else happens from that. We are getting another Fear Street movie, last I heard, and Chloe Okuno from VHS 94 and Watcher was set to direct it. I don't know, I have no update on that at all, but I wonder if they're working on that or not. That would be cool. Do you think they should make a sequel to Halloween Ends, as I feel they could build up what happened in that movie? I mean, like, you know, story-wise, they could make a Corey Cunningham movie, but I would just rather have another Michael movie in a couple of years. You know, that's just my opinion on it. I almost feel like we're kind of longing for that. You know, however you feel about Halloween Ends, it just wasn't a Michael Myers movie, and you know, it's okay. There's a lot of other reasons that people really like it, but I just personally would like, if we do make another Halloween film at some point, I think they should just start a new timeline, brand new take on Halloween. And just don't do the same thing again. You know, we don't need another Halloween 2018 where it's just a continuation to the original. I don't want a remake either. I want a reimagining. You know, I want like a whole reimagining of it with the kind of a same situation. Give me Michael Myers again, but in the 70s. You know what I mean? Why not have Ty West direct a movie that's about Michael Myers attacking people in Haddonfield in the 70s, but it's not Laurie Strode and it's not Annie Brackett, and none of those characters are in it. It's just a brand new thing. You know what I mean? It's just a brand new storyline in the 70s. We haven't done that. You know what I mean? We have yet to do that. And like I said, I just don't want them to do Halloween 2018 again for a new sequel. I would, at this point, I would rather get a remake, even though I'm not the biggest fan of remakes. I would rather get a remake of Halloween opposed to just another continuation. That's what we've always done with Halloween. Change it up. Do a reimagining. Do an isolated incident kind of movie, which so many horror franchises are doing and thriving doing that. Like, look at Prey. However you feel about that movie, I just thought the concept of it was killer. Like, it was just such a new take on Predator that I would never expect to get, and I loved that. We followed completely different groups of people in that film versus what we've gotten in the past, and I just thought that was awesome. So I would love for that in just any new sequel to basically anything, just to keep it fresh, you know? And especially to Halloween that, you know, has so many movies that have tried so many different things. Not all of it has worked. Some has, some hasn't. I would love for them just to get back to basics, especially with how weird the last two movies got. Let's get back to basics. Give me a reimagining, Michael Myers killing people in Haddonfield. And we can do that. We can find a new way to twist that. And like I said, I think the period piece angle would be fun to do. Take it back to the 70s, you know? Why not? New profile image. I love it. Oh, I love it. That's a really good one. Got a ghost face killer. Kind of looks like Danny Johnson with the costume, but I'm not sure. Regardless, I love it. Yeah. Jason Carpenter saying, Jake, you know it kills me sharing my birthday with Busta Rhymes. Dude, that's hilarious, man. I love that. Hey, listen, however you feel about Busta Rhymes, he kicked the shit out of Michael Myers for a minute there. So at least there's that, you know, at least there's that. Jake, what did you dislike the most? The ending of Halloween Ends or Scream 6? Definitely Halloween Ends. I didn't hate the ending to Scream 6. I don't think it was like the most perfect ending to a Scream film ever, but you know, there's a few things I definitely would have changed, but I definitely was not a fan of the ending of Halloween Ends. It just didn't feel earned to just kill Michael Myers after a movie that had nothing to do with him almost. I don't know. If you wanted to make a movie about a guy named Corey Cunningham, make that movie. You know, it just felt like, oh wait, we're a Halloween movie. We got to get back to this. Oh shit, we gotta make this about Michael Myers. You know, out of absolutely what felt like almost nowhere. So I almost would have just had the end of the movie be about Corey Cunningham at that point, just to make it a little more concise, a little more focused. It just felt like a very unfocused movie. It was very all over the place. You could tell multiple people had their hands in that pot. I don't know. I wasn't. It did nothing for me. I was almost laughing watching Michael Myers get thrown into a meat grinder. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like seriously? We're okay. All right. But I would just love for them. I think they should have just, if they wanted to make a movie about a guy named Corey Cunningham, I think they should have just went all in on that. They kind of were just like very hesitant. They were like, oh, we want to make this about Corey. We got to make it about Michael. Corey, Michael. One thing or the other would have been better. I almost would have just rather Michael have not been in the movie, which is like crazy to say, I know, but it just would have been a more concise movie. It would have been a little more focused. And that's fine. If you want to say Michael died or something, like it would have made more sense. I don't know if that would have been like the greatest movie of all time, but I just think it would just make more sense from a storytelling perspective. There's so many moments in that film that had me scratching my head. But anyways, let's get moving. What else do we want to do? Alexander Skarsgård in a Scream movie in any capacity would be cool. Perry, oh yeah, coming off of Infinity Pool, I imagine. Oh yeah, he's so good in Infinity Pool. He's so good in The Northman too. If you've never seen The Northman, I fucking highly recommend that movie. That just went under the radar. Everyone forgot about that movie after it came out, and that is an absolute shame. The Northman kicked ass. Seriously, a killer film. But Alexander Skarsgård's just an amazing actor. I'd love to see him in any kind of popular franchise like that. A Scream movie especially would be fun. He would be a good red herring. Not a killer, but a red herring. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think he could play a killer, and that's why he would be a great red herring, in my opinion. So I actually, yeah, I fuck with that. That would be cool. What were you saying here, Jason? I feel better sharing it with Mickey Timothy Oliphant. Oh, oh shit. Okay, hell yeah, dude. That's cool, man. That's some good shit. Love that, man. The Horror Den is hanging out with us tonight. What's up, The Horror Den? Welcome to the stream. Saying, y'all call me sad, but I've finished replicating the Scream 6 shrine on Sims 4. 20 plus hours. That's awesome. And I'm beyond stoked with the finished product. Let me know if anyone wants to see it. Dude, send me, if you got a picture of that, just send it to me. I'm curious. 20 plus hours. That's awesome. The dedication, the time that had to have gone into that is incredible. So I think that's amazing personally. So send me a picture if you have it on you. I'm on Instagram and Twitter. Throw a follow to your boy, and I'll throw it right back at you. Just send me Scream Shrine pics. That's what I want to see. Scott's talking about, I would love to see a continuation to Halloween 4 with Danielle Harris returning to play Jamie Lloyd again after all these years where she has a family but somebody from the past comes to haunt her. What I would love to see is Danielle Harris come back for a Halloween movie. I think that would be really cool. And I kind of love what they did with the Rob Zombie movies where she's just playing an entirely new character. I'm like, that's fucking awesome. Like I mean an old character, but for her, a new character. And I just think that's really cool. I would be so fine with them doing that exact same thing again. I am not against that at all. I think what they tried to set up with Jamie Lloyd was very similar to Corey Cunningham. And that's essentially where it would go. You know what I mean? That's the kind of my thoughts on it. So I don't know if I'd want to see the same thing again because we kind of just did that in Halloween Ends. Like what you're talking about with Danielle Harris playing Jamie Lloyd again. So I think I would want her I would want Danielle Harris back, but I don't know if I'd want her on the same arc as what they were trying to set up with Jamie Lloyd personally. Just because we kind of just got that movie, you know what I mean? Halloween Ends is essentially kind of what they wanted, what I feel like they maybe wanted to set up with Jamie Lloyd's character, but I don't know. Me personally, I want something fresh. I want something they've never done before. So, what else we got? Midnight TV. You're working on an animated horror movie titled The Nature of the Beast. It's a horror take on George Orwell's Animal Farm. Animal Farm is a fucking horror movie, man. Holy shit. But yes, I do dig that though. Nice. Very cool. Very cool. Very cool. Did I say horror film? I meant horror book. I read that back in high school and it really fascinated. That one really took me by surprise. I was like, it's a book about animals on a farm. No, it's not. It's much more than that. A lot of very intricate little details and things it's trying to say, which I think are cool, that I won't get into on stream. But I think it's an interesting book if you've never seen it. It did have a movie. You are correct. I never saw that. I've only read the book, Calder Prime. But now I'm remembering it. You're right. That does have a movie. I've only read the book. Probably one of the only instances of that. And most times I've seen, if there is a book to it, I probably read that and watched the movie. So I'll have to check it out. I'll have to check out the movie. Jason Carpenter rocking some Halloween Ends love. I dig it, man. For me, I think more people would appreciate it if Myers had some more kills in it. Other than that, I wouldn't change much. I almost just think, once again, I just think the movie wasn't about Michael Myers. And I think that's what took me by such surprise. You know, it's like, we've been setting up this. I think, here's how I feel about it, Jason. Honestly, I know, I know you love the movie and I think that's great, but I just think that with the story and what was being told, it doesn't make a lot of sense to end it that way. If Halloween Ends was its own standalone thing from David Gordon Green, it was just about a guy named Corey Cunningham that loses his mind and starts killing people, I think it would have been a fucking killer movie if it had stayed focused on that topic. But it's just very all over the place for me. I think that Rowan Campbell's a killer actor, and I think he does a really good job with the script that he was given. But I just feel like they should have just made a horror film about a guy named Corey Cunningham who's killing people. I think that would have just made a lot more sense. It just felt like they didn't want to make another Halloween film, so they're like, okay, we're gonna do this other story we haven't that maybe David or somebody had in their back pocket. And there's a lot of potential in that film is how I felt about it. It's not like, oh my God, this is why would they make this movie kind of movie. It felt like there was a lot of ideas being bounced around that just didn't come full circle. You know what I mean? It was just a lot. It was so much setup, and I just don't feel like where all of it went worked for me personally, but I know a lot of, like, Jason loves this movie. I know there's a lot of people I've talked to who love the film and think it's an incredible wrap up to the trilogy, but I just don't get that. I think I don't know. It did not work for me. I wish I liked it. I want to like it because I love Halloween Kills and Halloween 2018 so much. I think it's a killer setup to one of the biggest stories Halloween has ever tried to tell. And Halloween Ends kind of just throws all that out to talk about some dude named Corey. For me, that's just I've seen it 4 times now, and that's really my takeaway from it. I don't know. But Jason, I'm glad you like it though. That's the big thing here. I'm glad you enjoyed the movie. I know there's a lot of people out there who also really dig it, and that's great. I think that's awesome. I just wish we could get an ending to the story that was set up in the previous two movies. I think is my big thing. Because I was so intrigued. I was digging that story. I was digging the whole thing with Hawkins, and then that went nowhere. The whole thing with Lindsay, that went nowhere. Everything with Allison, that went nowhere. It was just a brand new story, and I was like, okay, it's just wasn't the resolution I wanted to the big story they were trying to set up. So, but Jason, thank you so much for the $5. I do appreciate it. I'm really glad you liked the movie. Movie Fan is throwing out another super chat. Thank you so much for the support. I appreciate you. Saying, Jake, what are your thoughts on the sequels, Psycho 2 and The Exorcist 3? I love both of these movies so much. So both of them are very interesting takes on, like, you know, they're sequels, so of course they're new takes on something similar. But I'm so fascinated by Psycho 2 especially. But to finish this, do you think they match their OG classics as some tend to claim? That's tough because I think Psycho 2, both of these movies kind of take the same concept and do something entirely kind of different, like take it down a different path. Exorcist 3 is much faster paced than the original film and is more, like if you go back and watch that movie, you're almost like, wow, this is a Conjuring film, but back in the day. And I think that's really interesting about The Exorcist 3. It's you can tell that the Conjuring films nowadays and a lot of paranormal movies were very inspired by this film, as well as the original Exorcist 2. But Exorcist 3, man, it's got a lot of, you feel the inspiration for some of the Conjuring movies, a lot of the movies that come out today that are paranormal or Exorcist themed. Exorcist 3 is very influential for that reason. But same with the original Exorcist. Psycho 2, on the other hand, it's a totally different movie from the original, I think, at least. It's got a whole different thing going on. You have Norman Bates now, who's been like acquitted for murder, and he's trying to just get on with his life. He's just trying to have a normal life. And what happens in that film is so thought-provoking. I don't even want to tell you any more than that about Psycho 2. I would just recommend watching it and seeing how it, like, you kind of get to the same place as the original Psycho, but in a different way. And I think it's a fascinating movie that I really enjoyed. I didn't think I was going to like it that much, but I was like, wow, Psycho 2 kicks ass, man. This is so interesting, so different. Do they match the OGs? I think it's tough to say. I think the original Psycho and the original Exorcist are two of the most important horror films ever made. So I don't think a sequel to those movies would ever live up to something like that. You know, Scream, Halloween, Psycho, The Exorcist. I mean, we're talking about movies that made horror what it is today. I don't know if any sequel to any of those could possibly top it, but I think those movies are killer sequels, some of the best in those respective franchises. Exorcist 3, without a doubt, the best sequel. Psycho 3 is actually pretty good, but I don't think they match the OGs because, like I said, like those movies are just, I mean, perfect horror films that are shaped the face of horror. But I love them, and I think they're killer sequels that don't get enough praise. Definitely Psycho 2. Exorcist 3, I think enough people know that's a killer movie, but Psycho 2 for sure, man. Oh, killer movie. I recommend it if you have not seen it. Great 80s movie. But Movie Fan, thank you for the super chat. Do appreciate it. Love those movies though. Very underrated films. What else we got here? Talking Star Wars is hanging out with us. What's up, Talking Star Wars? How's it going? Happy belated May 4th, by the way. Saying, when do you think we'll see the Saw X trailer? Well, so we were kind of talking about this earlier. October trailers don't usually come out until like midsummer. So I'm guessing probably July for the Saw X trailer. July, because it's coming out in later October. I would probably guess July. But once again, this is another film where, well, maybe not Saw X as much, but Saw X, I don't think is going to have like the craziest marketing campaign because it's the Saw franchise. You know, I mean, these are some crazy. Sorry, I just read something that threw me off guard there. Saw X, it's the 10th film in the Saw franchise. You know, I mean, they're making this movie. Hopefully, it's going to make a bunch of money and maybe reinvigorate the franchise. That's what we always hope with sequels. But I don't know if it's going to have the craziest marketing campaign. Like Spiral had a pretty nutty campaign, and that movie didn't do all that crazy at the box office. So my guess is this one won't have like a 21 Savage song attached to it like the last one did, or anything wild like that. But I imagine we'll get a couple of trailers and some posters, and there'll be some hype for it, and it's coming out around Halloween, which is really exciting. Spiral came out in like April, was it, of 2021? April or May, I can't remember when, but it was earlier. So we're getting back to how Saw used to be, coming out around Halloween. The logo for it looks like the old school stuff. I'm just really excited for it, man. Regardless of what they do, I'm so hyped for it. So I think we'll see it in July, is my guess. If we get it earlier than that, that would be fucking awesome too. But like I said, I don't think there's going to be like the craziest campaign for this one. So we'll probably get a typical ad campaign with that one for sure. So, but I'm excited for it. Talking Star Wars. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you. I appreciate you a whole lot. Honestly, out of all the horror movies we got coming up, Saw X is way up there for my excitement level for movies that I just can't wait for. It's definitely in my top 5 movies for the rest of the year that I'm excited to see. I don't even know what else I would put up there. I mean, there's so many really good movies. It would be hard to get through that list. I'll tell you that much. Jason Carpenter throwing $5 out there again. Jason, I really appreciate you. Thank you so much for the support, man. Saying my pitch to Malika Cod and Blumhouse, direct sequel to Halloween 4. Halloween Retribution 2027. Daniel Harris, Jenna Ortega, and some Paul Rudd. I would love to get Paul Rudd back. That's for sure. I would love to see him back in there. And Danielle Harris, of course. Jenna Ortega. Now that would be interesting. Where would she fit into all of this? I'm into it. I'm into it. But once again, I would love to see that. I would love to see that 70s throwback movie. Maybe Ty West directs or something like that. I just think that would be so cool. But a direct continuation to Halloween 4, it's a little tougher than doing, a direct continuation to Halloween. We were just talking about earlier, like some sequels are just never going to match the original film because that movie is just so influential. That's how I feel about Halloween. I mean, everyone knows or is familiar with the overall plot of Halloween 78. It's just a guy in a mask killing some babysitters. I feel like most people off the street could kind of tell you that. But Halloween 4, though, I don't think as many people are as familiar with that one, because Halloween 4 was the first movie in the franchise. John Carpenter had nothing to do with it. And it came out at a time when, slashers were obviously huge, but also starting to go on the down a little bit. So people weren't as excited about Michael Myers anymore. They were starting to move on to some of the sillier stuff. But Halloween 4 comes out, and it's more of a straightforward horror film. It's got some goofy stuff in it though, for sure, but it's not as goofy as your Freddy's, as your Return of the Living Dead. So it wasn't like as popular of a film, but I really like it though. I think it's a killer movie. It could use a different continuation versus 5 and Curse, for sure. I don't think we need to go down the whole Michael Myers is he's the whole Cult of Thorns thing. I don't think we need to do that. I think we could have done something else with it for sure. But I almost feel like that ship has sailed, which makes me a little sad because I think Halloween 4 is an underrated movie in that franchise. It doesn't get talked about enough, doesn't have as much love, but just kind of came out at a weird time. Maybe if Halloween 3 hadn't came out and people were so like turned off by that because it wasn't Michael Myers, maybe Halloween 4 would have been as big. But I love all these movies we're talking about though. Season of the Witch is killer just as a standalone B movie. It's awesome. And then Halloween 4 is a really interesting return to what made the franchise what it is. So I'm not against this, but I just don't know if a studio would go for something like that. It's a tough thing to say. But Jason, maybe one day us Halloween fans will get a crazy movie like this. That would be awesome. That would be fantastic, though, Jason. Thank you for the $5, man. I really appreciate it. Thank you for your support and always hanging out with me on these little streams. I always appreciate it, man. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Movie fan, once again, throwing another super chat in there. Thank you for the support. Saying, Jake, I got one more comparison for you to choose from. Goodfellas or Heat? Oh, man, both of those are good. Sorry if these questions are tough for you. Keep up the awesome work, man. I love tough questions, movie fan. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. These are my favorite kinds of questions, my dude. Goodfellas or Heat? I saw Goodfellas most recently of these two, so I'm more familiar with that one, and I really like Goodfellas, man. But Heat is also an amazing movie. Goodfellas is... I probably got to go with Goodfellas, though. Heat is an incredible action movie that's just... You got to see it. It's one of those, like, that's just... It's an important movie just in general. But Goodfellas is also kind of in the same boat, and I would argue maybe a better film, just because it's so interesting and so intriguing. I've only seen it once, but I'd love to see Goodfellas again. Heat I've seen a couple of times, but... Man, the first time I watched Goodfellas, I was like, this is a fucking killer movie, man. I can't believe it took me this long to watch it. So I probably got to go Goodfellas, but both of these are killer flicks that everyone needs to watch at some point in their life, for sure. Very good movies. Very good movies, movie fan. I love it. I see you're a fan of all kinds of movies, hanging out on a horror stream, asking about some Scorsese and some Heat, some De Niro, some Pacino. I love it, man. I love it. Thank you for the support, though. I appreciate it. I love the tough questions. Tough questions are the best. It's good stuff, man. It's good stuff. Jason Carpenter has been a member for 3 months and said Jake didn't mean to be. You're all good, man. I'm not going to repeat that, but you're all good, dog. Don't worry about it. You're all good. All the love, man. All the love. Oh man, shit. All right, but anyways, let's get back to this. Let's get back to the horror talk. A little more horror talk here and there. The Horror Den is saying an Insidious spin-off with Tucker, Specs, and Elise's 2 nieces, who were shown to share her abilities, continuing Elise's legacy. Could essentially be the new Ghostbusters. Yeah, there you go. I'm really going to miss Specs and Tucker in this new movie. I don't believe they're going to be attached to it. I haven't seen anything about them being involved. But Elise is there. Elise is in the movie. A little cameo appearance, as we saw in the trailer, which was really cool. I just hope it's good. I'm starting to get really worried about this new movie, Horror Den. I would love a spin-off with Tucker and Specs running around with Elise's nieces, which should be an 80s hair metal band if it's not already. But I don't know, man. I'm gonna miss them. It's almost like you're taking away. It's like how we were going into Scream 6 without Dewey. You know what I mean? That's how it feels going into Scream 5 without Specs and Tucker, who are such essential and killer characters, comedic reliefs in a darker movie. That definitely has some goofier things happening though in it for sure. But I'm gonna miss them. I feel like there's gonna be a void that I don't know if that's gonna be filled or not. Because like I said, they're a crucial comedic relief in those movies. But yes, I'm down to see Elise's nieces come back, and hopefully they're back in the 5th movie. But man, I'm so scared. I'm so scared it's not going to be good. I was talking earlier about how viewer Anon said not so positive things about Insidious, the Red Door, and I'm like, man, come on, come on, it's got to be good. It's got to be good, man. I've been waiting for this movie like since I saw the original back in 2010. So I really hope it's good. I got my fingers crossed it's going to be good, but I'm worried, man. I want this one to be a banger. Fingers crossed, dude. Fingers crossed. Yurdy G is throwing $5 in there. Yurdy, thank you so much, man. I appreciate you. Saying, bro, just leaving dinner with my boo and my daughter. I'm late again. Don't worry about it. Hey, you made it. That's all that matters, Yurdy G. You're here. You made it. You're hanging out. And we appreciate you. Thank you. I hope you had a wonderful dinner as well. But have you seen the Five Nights at Freddy's trailer leak? So I have not watched it. It came up in my recommended though. I was hanging out with some friends this weekend, and I saw it come up in my recommended, and I was like, oh, that's definitely a leaked trailer. The thumbnail, I remember it had like a bunch of it was like someone with a phone definitely recording their computer screen, is what it looked like to me. So I did not watch it yet. I want to, I'm always kind of the guy, I want to wait for the real thing when it comes out. But I remember like the only thing I saw, I think in the thumbnail was like Josh Hutcherson sitting somewhere, maybe because I believe he's the character that's like the janitor, the night watch guy, and all that. So my guess is like there's probably a lot of him in the room watching the cameras, just like the game. That's my guess. I don't know. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm hyped for it. I'm excited for the trailer. Considering that it's already completed, we'll probably get it relatively soon. maybe next month would be my guess as to when it actually comes out. But because it leaked, that might force an early release, which I'm not too big of a fan of. That usually hurts a marketing campaign. Most people are like, what are you talking about, Jake? We're building hype right now. But the movie doesn't come out until late October. People might forget about it. That means we got to make this gigantic ad campaign running through, and the movie could lose money, which I wouldn't want to happen. But Five Nights at Freddy's, I'm still excited for it, man. I have not seen the trailer yet, but I hope it's good, and I'm hyped to see it when it does come out. So, Yurdy, I'm hyped for it, dude. I can't wait to do the double feature of this and Saw X in late October. It is going to be a crazy Thursday night, and I'm very excited for it. So, but I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope the trailer looks good, however it's looking. So, Yurdy, thank you so much for the $5, man. I appreciate it. I'm hyped for the trailer to really come out, though. This leak was pretty big. I remember, I think it was Friday that I saw that, so I think the leak happened then. But I'm I don't know. I'm just really excited to see what they got cooking. Trying to think of some of the photos that I saw from the Five Nights at Freddy's like behind the scenes stuff. I think it was Josh Hutcherson beating up somebody in like a fountain at like a mall or something. So I'm like, what is happening in this movie? This is crazy. I'm excited to see what they do. Excited to see where it happens. So. Charmy Challenges is saying, hey, Jake, have you seen How to Get Away with Murder, and do you think it needs a spin-off? As the showrunner said, he's open to one. It's the best law/crime drama there is, in my opinion. Holy shit, no. I have not seen this, my friend. I have not heard of this, but it sounds awesome. Charmy Challenges. I'll have to check it out. How to Get Away with Murder. I don't even think I've heard of that, honestly. I'm like, what? What is that? I know the I know the Papa Roach song, Getting Away with Murder, which, if it's not already in a Scream film, it should be. I feel like that's in Scream 4 for some reason, but I know it's not. Killer song, though. Movie Fan, once again, is throwing a super chat out there. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Jake, I agree with all your answers. Wow, that's awesome. I'm glad you do. I prefer De Niro to Pacino. Goodfellas is my all-time favorite movie, but Heat is so fantastic, as you said. I mean, yeah, dude. Oh my God. So much good stuff all around that you're throwing out there. Yeah, Goodfellas being your favorite movie, totally valid opinion. My friend Shazeb, who I don't believe is here with us tonight, but a very good friend of mine. That's his all-time favorite movie. He absolutely loves it. He begged me to watch it. He's like, you have to watch Goodfellas, dude. Like, how have you not seen that movie? And I'm like, okay, I'm watching it. And I loved it. It was a great time. Really good movie. So I'm glad you like it. I'm glad you like it as well. Jason is here. What's going on, Jason? Jason, I don't want to mess up your last name, but Jason Rushman? Jason Rushman. Jason, thanks for being here, man. I appreciate it. Gave you a thumbs up, Jake. Today is my oh my God, Jason, and it's your birthday, and I'm messing up your name. Damn it. Jason, I'm so sorry, man. Thank you for the thumbs up. You got me a thumbs up, and it's your birthday. I give you a thumbs up, sir. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you. Welcome to the stream, Jason. Thanks for being here, dude. Happy birthday. I hope you're having a great day. And I hope you're everything you wanted for your birthday. I hope all of it comes true. If you make a wish blowing out your candles, I hope that wish comes true immediately. I love it, Jason. Thanks for being here, man. Hanging out with me on your birthday. God, I feel so special. I'm such a lucky lad, as they say. Movie Fan is throwing, holy shit, I don't even know what AED is, but I appreciate that. Thank you so much for the super chats, man. Asking another killer question here. You can only keep one of these horror classics. Halloween, Scream, The Shining, The Omen, and The Exorcist. What are you choosing? Do you have any negatives, flaws, nitpicks with any of these films? Man, all of these are very important horror flicks that you're throwing out here. But if I had to keep one, and this is solely based on just how it influenced just horror in general, I mean, I think I'd have to kind of keep... I'm between The Exorcist and Halloween, because without Halloween, you don't have Scream. Let's just be straight up. You know, I mean, if there was no Halloween, there's no Scream. Like, that movie would cease to exist, and then I don't have either of these films. That's my logic here. So it kind of has to be Halloween or The Exorcist. I think, at least, because, you know, you could argue that The Exorcist somewhat influenced Halloween, somewhat, maybe not as much as, you know, like Black Christmas, but you can argue that the shockingness of The Exorcist is something that influenced Halloween and how they tried to capture that energy there as well. But I'm gonna go, I'm gonna go with The Exorcist because I feel like that's I think that's the most important here, because the 70s I don't think would have been as insane as they were without The Exorcist, and that might have led to a not as insane 80s, a whole 10 years of horror that is considered the very best of all time. And you might not have gotten that without The Exorcist. So I got to go with that because of how that might have influenced some of these other movies. Yeah, that's a really tough decision though, because fuck, I love all these movies. I think are great. Do I have any negatives, flaws, nitpicks with any of these films? I think The Shining is a killer horror flick, but I think it walked so that modern horror psychology could run. Psychological horror flicks from today could run, if that makes sense. I love The Shining. I think it's an amazing movie, but I think some movies today have just done a similar concept even better. But I love it. I think it's an amazing movie. It's a killer flick. And Dr. Sleep is also another one that's just an absolute banger as well. Both of those movies are so good. And both I believe were kind of disliked when they initially came out. So kind of interesting. Dr. Sleep didn't do all that well at the box office, unfortunately, but if you've never seen it, if you have no idea what I'm even talking about, Dr. Sleep is the sequel to The Shining, which is really good. Also kind of based on the book. So check out both of them. You've probably seen The Shining, but if you've never seen Dr. Sleep, I recommend that one too. So very good movies. I like The Shining though. I mean, it's a killer movie. The Omen's very underrated as well. So thank you for the super chat, my friend. Good question. A little two-parter there. I like. Psycho definitely influenced Halloween as well, for sure. Absolutely. Jason Carpenter's throwing $2 out there saying, gotta wait until 7/25 for my Scream 6 Best Buy Steelbook. I am very excited for that as well. I want to watch that movie again. That movie, Evil Dead Rise, and Infinity Pool have lived rent-free in my head. Oh, and Beau is Afraid, for sure. All four of those movies have been just massive standouts from this year for me that I can't stop thinking about. I love them. Love them so much, man. Jason, thank you for the $2, man. It's great. Can't wait for that Scream 6 Steelbook to come out, man. Oh my God. It looks really cool too if you haven't seen the pictures of it. I believe, maybe I have them. Maybe I have a picture of that. I do not off the top from my pictures here, but maybe I do. But it looks really cool. You got the New York, the whole New York thing in like the inside of it, which I think is really cool. Scream 6 Steelbook. Do I have this? Yes, I'm going to spend time uploading a picture to show all of you this, which you've probably already seen. I don't care. Look how cool that looks. Look at that. You got like probably the best movie poster that came out from Scream 6 on there. And that inside, you got the New York skyline, Ghostface is stalking it. I love it. I love the way that Steelbook looks. That's probably my favorite one besides the Scream 2 Steelbook, which is also very fucking cool. Ghost Mysteries is saying, I love Dr. Sleep. I don't understand the negative parts about it. I don't know. It just didn't resonate with people, I guess. A lot of people weren't huge fans of that one, which is kind of shocking. Rose the Hat is, in my opinion, one of the most underrated horror villains from the past 4 years, without a doubt. Like maybe number one. Maybe the number one most negative, not negative, underrated, just horror villains we've gotten in a very long time. I don't know. Rebecca Ferguson, I think, plays the character very well. Just a big standout from that film. Ewan McGregor is also great in the movie as in the lead role. So much good. I don't know. There's so much good stuff about that movie. I couldn't recommend it more. It's so crazy. It's very different from The Shining. I think that's kind of another big thing. It's such a different story, but it is a continuation. It is a continuation. It follows Danny all these years later, and I don't know. I thought it was a really good movie. I had a blast with it. Tori's saying, gotta wait until that date to get my Steelbook too, but it's perfect because it's right around the time of my birthday. There you go. You got a little birthday present cooking up for you. So I like that. I like that a lot. Good stuff. Good stuff. Billy Moran? Is that? I'm trying here. I'm trying here. Which celebrity would you want to see as Ghostface? We were talking about Dr. Montgomery earlier, who I think that's how you pronounce his name. He would be a great Ghostface killer. I really think he would be a number one option for me right now. I think Mia Goth would play a killer Ghostface killer. I think it would be a little too obvious though if Mia Goth was if Mia Goth gets cast in a Scream movie, I'm almost like 1,000% sure she's going to be the gonna be the killer. But also great choice for a red herring. But it would almost like it's almost to the point where it's like, is that just a misstep to not make her a killer? Like that would just be so like, man, she would play that role so well. Fuck. Those two would be a killer duo though. That would be my duo off the top of my head. That would be the duo I want for sure. Do I prefer Midsommar or Hereditary? I think both are killer flicks that just blew my fucking mind. I saw them both opening night and was just like, I can't fucking believe this. I can't believe the story that just unfolded in front of me. Hereditary, I will say, is kind of what reinvigorated my passion for horror flicks though. So I got to give it to that one just because it's the one that it's very close to my heart. A film that I really love, big time. Very, very important to me. But Midsommar, I've seen that movie maybe like 25 times, and it's a perfect movie to get people into like the weirder side of horror. I think it's it's not too hard to watch on your first time. You know, it's nothing where it's like, oh, this is all an allegory for something. I mean, it sort of kind of is, but it's also like a story about some characters that go to Sweden and get involved with the cult. So I don't know. It's a very digestible, art housey kind of movie, which I think it's a good one to start people off if they're like I don't know if I want to get into some of the weirder horror. You know, some of this gets a little too weird for me. But Midsommar, I feel like is a good stepping stone to get people interested in all that. So that's why I've seen it so many times with so many different people. Jason Carpenter saying, hell yeah, man. All the love to you. All the love to you. Saying your Monday night streams make Mondays more tolerable. Good, man. We're all kind of Garfield deep down inside. None of us really like Mondays. Keep up the great work. You are going to flip out with Resident Evil 4. I can't fucking wait to play it, dude. I've been playing through the Resident Evil 2 remake right now, and it's been a blast. Oh my God. It has been so much fun. I'm halfway through Claire's campaign now, and once I'm done with that, I'm gonna then I'll be ready for Resident Evil 4. And I played the third one, like the 3 remake, maybe I want to say like a year ago now. So very fun games overall, though. I love all of them. I would love to see Jack Nicholson as Ghostface. Oh my God, that would be nuts. That would be insane. What is your real quickly, CJM, I just want to hit on this. Roman is asking, what is your least favorite death from Scream 6? Ooh, least favorite death, so least favorite kill just in the whole movie. Probably Liana Liberato just kind of gets shot in the head. That would be my dull machete if I was James A. Janice. Did I call him Denise? James A. Janice. That would probably be my dull machete for sure. But regardless, though, I think all the killers kind of have a pretty decent death because you also get that line from fucking Sam right before her death that is just so brutal about like killing her brother or whatever. Crazy shit, man. My least favorite, but I still think it holds some weight. Some good stuff. CJM is saying Hereditary is the best horror movie since 1999's The Blair Witch Project. Hell yeah. It's a killer movie, man. It ripped my face off the first time I saw it. I have never been so upset by a movie theater experience. My theater was like just silent after 30 minutes into it when someone's head gets knocked off. It was just silence the rest of the movie, just like this. And when she's fucking floating in that corner and like this, and it slowly gets a little more visible as that shot goes on, that is so fucking interesting. Like on a technical level, Hereditary is just made so well. Ugh, any Ari Aster film, just technical level made so well. Were you a fan of the movie The Bye Bye Man? Interestingly enough, Red Right Hand was shot in the same area that movie was shot. I also got to meet someone who was in that movie too. I have so many weird connections to this movie, which is so strange. So like, I don't know. I don't love this movie, but like I've had so many weird coincidence moments with this film that I oddly sort of like it for that reason. I call it the Pee Pee Poo Poo Man because I just think that's really funny. It's a goofy movie. It's weird. I don't know. It's not like the best horror movie I've ever seen, but I think it's interesting. I don't know. I'm not like crazy fan of it, but I love a lot of the people that were attached to it. Lee Winnell is in the opening scene for some reason. I don't know why. there's so many weird things about this movie that fascinate me. It's one of those films that I feel like we're probably going to be talking about forever because of how many little weird coincidences happened with this movie. I don't know. Cameron, if I go down that rabbit hole, we're going to be talking about it all day. But one day I will make a movie. I will make a video about the Bye Bye Man, the Pee Pee Poo Poo Man. But what else are we talking about here? Manga Maniac saying, I believe I have a hard question for you. I'm all ears. Out of all the Scream movies, which side character do you wish didn't die and went on to become a main? So not Dewey or Randy. Mine is Cece personally. Ooh, good choice. Cece Cooper, Sarah Michelle Gellar. Killer actress. She's amazing, and I Know What You Did Last Summer. And of course, she's Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Who's a side character? I would probably go Parker Posey from Scream 3, personally. I think Jennifer Jolie's pretty underrated. I could see her being a mainstay. Like, one of my issues with Scream 3 that doesn't get, someone left a comment on one of my videos recently talking about how there's a lot of well-documented things about Scream 3 that people don't like, but then there's also other things to talk about with Scream 3. Like, there's some big positives. There's some other weird things about the movie that nobody talks about. And one of my weird things about it is Parker Posey's character and how they write her character. Her performance is amazing, but in one moment, she gets punched in the face by Gil Weathers, threatens to bring the law into the situation, and then in the very next scene that her and Gil share, they're working together trying to solve the crime, and it just doesn't make any sense to me. I'm like, we needed one more scene where they were kind of pissed at each other, but a little less, and then move into that, because like they have to work together. I don't know, I just don't love the way that flows. But I almost wish that we could have seen that arc that kind of got rushed, in my opinion, in Scream 3 happen through across a couple of movies. Like, maybe somehow Parker Posey's character lives through Scream 3 and then is in Scream 4 somehow, and maybe her and Gale are starting to be friends, like they hate each other at first, but they slowly become friends over time. That would be very fascinating to me if they had done something like that for Gale. And also, Gale's arc, I don't know where they're going with it at this point after Scream 6. So I feel like that might have been a really cool interjection to have that in there. Her and Parker Posey, Jennifer Jolie being friends. That would have been very, very interesting to me. But Cece is a great choice as well. Sarah Michelle Gellar is an incredible actress. So I'm also like, I really like Parker Posey for a couple of reasons. I think she's amazing in Beau is Afraid. For the little time she has, she stands out big time for one of the craziest scenes in that whole movie. But I'd love to see her. I wish she was still alive because it would be cool to see her character come back. So very, very big standout character from Scream 3 for sure. What else do we got? Who's your favorite underrated horror? What's your favorite underrated horror movie? Hush and Inside are mine. No one ever talks about these movies. I can't remember if Drum Dums posted about this yet, but I know he said he was going to do a review of that. I have not caught up on some of his videos, but if he did do, I know he was talking about doing a review for Inside. I don't know if he did that or not, but man, I love that movie so much. That is so underrated. I'm trying to see. I'm looking through his videos right now. I'm trying to see if he made this yet. I'm not seeing it yet. I'm sure he's probably working on it. But dude, Inside is one of the most underrated movies I've ever seen in my entire life. It is so scary and so gory and fucked up. Oh, great movie. I believe it's like 2007 is when it came out. I watched it recently for the first time, like maybe like 2 months ago. I'm like, how the fuck have I never seen this movie? This is a near perfect horror film. It's just a little tiny story. It's not too much crazy shit is going on. It's just really effective though. It's really well done. Same with Hush. Just a small little contained story, not too many characters, but it's really well done and it's very fascinating. Both of these movies play into some really interesting ideas. So great choices for sure. But what's my favorite underrated horror movie? Man, that is really tough. There's so many, there's so many horror films that fly under the radar that nobody talks about. Honestly, Possessor, like how we were talking about earlier, I think is so underrated. Nobody talked about it. Nobody went to the theaters to see it, unfortunately, because it came out in the pandemic. But it was so good. It's such a good movie. I watch it all the time. I think about it all the time. It's like Total Recall too, where there's not a clear answer to what's going on. It's very ambiguous, but that's kind of the point. You know what I mean? It's like, that's what's so fascinating. You can watch that movie 100 times and have totally different takes every single time. And I'm drawn to movies like that because you can keep watching them. You can never 100% get the answer. And I love that. I love that chase. Some people get very frustrated with that, but me personally, I'm beyond fascinated with movies like that. Total Recall is one of my all-time favorite just movies in general, for that reason. So I'm very drawn to movies like that, like Possessor, or more Cronenberg movies. Existence from, I believe, the late 90s is when that came out. Another one that's just very like, what the fuck is happening in this movie? This is so interesting. Very underrated David Cronenberg movie in my opinion. So I recommend both of those. If you're like, I don't even know what you're talking about, Jake, check them out. Check them out. Pretty good movies. Pretty good movie. Parker Posey is such a great choice. She's the best part of Scream 3, hands down. How do you think Ash from Evil Dead would deal with Freddy Krueger? Holy shit, that's an out of left field question, Manga Maniac, and I love it. How would Ash from the Evil Dead deal with Freddy Krueger? He would like definitely, if they were in a room together somehow, it would just be quip after quip after quip after. It would be a quip battle. They wouldn't even fight each other. I think they might even like each other. Like these two might be friends. They might work together that well, which is really funny. How would he, like, if they had to fight though? Ash would find a way to kill Freddy Krueger. Like he would. Ash is he has plot armor more than any character maybe in the history of movies. And he, but we love him for that reason. It's ridiculous. It's over the top. He would find a way to kill. He would find a way to get that chainsaw into a dream and slice up Freddy Krueger for sure. Is what I would say. Ash would just figure it out, man. He can. The man can shoot 3 shotgun shells out of a shotgun, a double barrel shotgun. Somehow this man can do that. I don't know how he does it, but he does it. So he would figure it out. Ash defies logic to a degree. Perry's throwing $10 out there. Perry, thank you so much for the support, man. I really do appreciate it. Saying Dermot Mulroney, our killer in Scream 6, spoiler alert, is in a weird indie horror movie called The Rambler. Been a while since I've seen it, but wow, it's nuts. I don't think it performed well. Check it out if you can. The Rambler. I have not heard of this. Hang on. I'm very curious because I really do like Dermot Mulroney. I think he's an underrated actor. A lot of people are very not hot on the guy after Scream 6. He's been criticized for his performance in that film, but I personally really enjoyed it. I thought it was just the right amount of over the top. And I've never heard of this film before, but it seems insane. Released from prison, a man, Dermot Mulroney, who is the Rambler, returns home to an unsatisfied wife, played by Natasha Lyonne. Interesting. He moves to Oregon to help his brother on a ranch where he meets a mad scientist and a con artist. Oh, I love anything with mad scientists in it, so I think I will like this. Perry. Ooh, okay. I'm logging it. And I'm putting it in the watch later section. Like the nerd that I am. Perry, thank you for the $10, my friend. I appreciate that. I'm going to check out this movie at some point. It is on Vudu for free, so there you go. Bam. There you go. Love it. Sarah Campbell is throwing out another super chat. Sarah, I appreciate you so much. Thanks for being here. Talking about one of my all-time favorite found footage movies, As Above, So Below. Another one no one talks about. I agree. Oh, what an absolutely killer main character in that movie as well. Very unsung hero. I can't even remember her name, which is a shame, because that movie kicks ass and she is so good in that role, whoever she is, because I can't remember her name or the actress that plays her. But As Above, So Below is so underrated. I saw this movie in the theaters with like a girlfriend all the way back in the day, and man, it was so fun. It blew my mind. It was scary as fuck, especially in the third act. It's a bit of a slow burn. Like it kind of takes a minute to get into it, but it's all set up for where it goes. And I think it's so well done. It's so well crafted. I really like this movie. It's one of my favorite found footage flicks that's really ever been made. I don't know. It's an easy top 10 without a doubt. So fucking scary in the end. It's always just like ugh. It reminds me of playing like a Resident Evil game, actually, which is why I really like it. That whole ending sequence where she's just running through the catacombs. Oh my God, man. I'm like, ugh. Scares the hell out of me. Sarah, great choice. An absolutely killer choice there. If you've never seen As Above, So Below, I do recommend it if you're into the whole found footage thing. But speaking of found footage, We have Jonathan once again hanging out with us. Thanks for the $5, man. Appreciate the support. Saying, I was thinking VHS should go after big horror directors. Imagine a VHS movie with Ari Aster, Jordan Peele, Brandon Cronenberg, etc. VHS should go big. Well, Jonathan, for the next movie, they have kind of gotten some really big directors attached to it. We have Scott Derrickson doing a skit for VHS. Scott Derrickson's a very big director. He's done a Marvel movie, and now he's doing a skit for VHS, which is nuts. And then we also have another big director who I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but I know there's one more big one as well from VHS 85. We have David Bruckner as well. David Bruckner is returning to do another skit. We have Scott Derrickson. We also have Mike P. Nelson, an underrated choice there. And then I unfortunately have never seen the movies that Natasha Kermani and Gigi Saul Guerrero have made, but they are also doing segments for the VHS 85 as well that comes out in later this year in October. But I'm very excited for it. I have been nothing but blown away by the last two entries that came out in the last 2 years. It was VHS 94, VHS 99 from last year. I had so much fun with those movies. I forced my friends to watch them, and they are very gross. So some of my friends did not appreciate it, but I had a fucking blast with those movies, man. I do agree, though. Brandon Cronenberg's VHS segment would be fucking insane, and I would love to see that. I think about like Ty West, though, with the first VHS. I almost feel like he didn't know what to do with found footage, because he's he has a style and he sticks to it with his movies, and he does it very well. So him kind of getting too far out of his comfort zone, it just made for, I don't know, it was fine. You know, his VHS segment isn't the best. But I think it's all right. It still has a Ty West vibe to it, which I appreciate. I wonder how these directors would approach basically a 15-minute not VHS, a 15-minute little found footage horror film. You know, it's essentially a short film you're making when you're approaching a VHS movie. How would these directors approach that? I think it would be very fascinating. I've watched a lot of Ari Aster short films from like back in the day, and he does some really experimental stuff. I think Ari Aster would do a really good job. Jordan Peele would make something really fun and ridiculous. Brandon Cronenberg, I feel like he's not like, I don't want to, like, I don't know what he would do. He would definitely do something very weird, sci-fi and just crazy bonkers. But I think the found footage thing might be like a weird hurdle for some of these directors who are like always use like crazy camera tricks, like Brandon Cronenberg especially, and Ari. All three of these people actually have done something insane with the camera at one point or another with their films. But Brandon Cronenberg shoots his movies a certain way to make you feel like a fly on the wall, to make you feel like you're not really there. Or it's really tough. It's tougher to relate to some of his characters because they almost feel otherworldly, and the way he shoots his movies is done on purpose. Like, I won't get into the weeds of it. I won't bore you with that. But I imagine he might struggle with the whole found footage elements of VHS. But I think it would still be very interesting. I would love to see what they would come up with, because all three of these people you mentioned are very creative and have come up with some of the most original horror films just from the past like 10 years or so. So I wonder what they would bring to the table. It would be awesome. Yeah, and these are also some of my favorite just horror movie directors in general right now. I really do. I'm just really blown away by everything these guys make. So would love to see VHS get into some of the more indie stuff. I don't know if Jordan Peele classifies as indie anymore. His movies make millions and millions of dollars, but Ari Aster and Brandon Cronenberg for sure would be really interesting choices. Would love to see that if they ever make another VHS film in the future. I could use 100 more of those, honestly. I don't think they should stop making them. They're not like that hard to make, you know what I mean? Like they've been pumping them out year after year. I'd be down for more of them. Love it though, Jonathan. Thank you for the $5. I do appreciate it. Thank you for the support. Vivid Gamer is saying, I'd be interested in your Resident Evil Resi rankings, Resident Evil movie rankings, or video games, so I can judge you. I mean, since you've mentioned the games a few times. I got to go back through the games. I recently went through the movies again. I don't even know how I would rank the movies. They all kind of blur together for me. They don't really stand out, a lot of them. Like the first two, the first three, let's be fair. The first three, I think, kind of stand out in different ways. But after that, they all kind of blur together for me. But the games would be tough to judge because I am very, very hot on the Resident Evil 2 remake, and it's probably my favorite. It's one of my favorite horror video games I've ever played. So that's number 1, but I'm about to play Resident Evil 4, which is being described as the best Resident Evil game ever made. So I don't know. I've heard so many people rave about the Resident Evil 4 remake, and I'm going to play it Wednesday, and I'm really excited. I don't even want to look at it, watch a trailer, nothing before Wednesday. I want to go into it so blind so you get my crazy honest reaction to it. But I really do want to make a video about that. That would be fun. I don't even know how I would rank them, honestly. I think the Resident Evil 2 remake is definitely my number 1 as of right now, but like I said, I haven't played 4 yet. So a lot of the games I haven't played too. There's a lot of weird offshoot Resident Evil games that I've never even heard of. Like there's a game called Resident Evil Outbreak, and I'm like, what the fuck even is this? I want to play it, but I have no idea what it is. But Vivid Gamer, I absolutely would love to do that for sure at some point. I talked about this earlier in the stream, but I do want to start doing more ranking videos, more reviews. I want to start getting away from updates. Now, I don't want to stop doing updates, but I think my point is I don't want to be making trying to make these big videos on like these little updates that keep coming out. I want to start making like big videos on everything we know about an upcoming movie, and then do some reviews and some rankings. And I feel like I can add more to, I feel like I can build a better conversation off of videos like that, opposed to a small little update we just got. You know, I might do that in shorts moving forward, but I'd love to do more things like that, where it's like the rankings of video games or movies or reviews for things, where it's like, oh fuck, you know, like this is really good. I don't know. Would love to start getting into more of that stuff. I see a lot of YouTubers, like we were talking about Drum Dums earlier. I see them doing like reviews of like just like out of nowhere horror films, and I'm like, that's awesome. Like that's really great. Drum Dums, his last 2 videos were on a movie called The Black Demon and Final Exam 1981. I think The Black Demon's a new movie, I want to say. It's a newer shark movie. So I think that's awesome. I'd love to start getting into more stuff like that instead of just doing every update that comes out. You know, it's tougher to get views on that stuff. You got to get real creative. You got to get real creative getting into all of that. So I love Outbreak. It's hard to get multiplayer set up, but there's a website that guides you through it. Oh shit. See, like I'm like, what? This is awesome. There's so many weird offshoot games from like back in that time period. Like Mortal Kombat's another good example. There's so many weird little offshoot Mortal Kombat games that you probably never even heard of. There's one called like, I think it's like called like Shaolin Monks or something, Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks, that is so much fun. And it's like, nobody talks about this game. It's so good. So I would love to do that on the gaming channel as well, as getting into some of those weirder horror games. I want to, once again, just on that page as well, a mix between the newer games like Resident Evil 4, and maybe I'll play one of the older ones too, you know, that I just never played through before. So that'd be awesome. Code Veronica I hear is fantastic. I never got to play that. Creepy as hell with a long ass campaign. I absolutely want to play that at some point. How did you like the most recent Resident Evil movie? I liked it at the theater, but watched it when it came out on physical and was like, that's it? Here's what I'll say about it, Ty. I think that the most recent one, the Johannes Roberts directed film, Welcome to Raccoon City, I feel like it's the closest we've ever gotten to getting on the right track for a Resident Evil film, because there's a killer story running through the first 3, those first 3 games that is all kind of one congruent thing, but they tried to like just melt that all down into one tiny 90-minute movie, and there's just no way you can tell that whole story in a single movie. I really think what they should have done, and I still feel like Johannes Roberts should have directed this, but just make a movie about Resident Evil 1 at the Spencer Mansion. Just make that movie. That's your whole first movie. That's it. Just the plot of the first game done really well, taken to the screen. That's all you need to adapt. And then make a movie about 2 and 3 that take place simultaneously. What I don't like about that movie, what doesn't work for me, is that it's it tries to mix the first game and 2 together, which doesn't make any sense, because like the second and third game literally take place at the same time in Raccoon City. And it's called Welcome to Raccoon City. Why didn't they just make a movie of the 2 storyline mixed with the whole Jill and Nemesis thing that's going on in part 3? I don't know. It eludes me that we just go to the Spencer Mansion randomly in the middle of that film. I think it would have been better if we had just done the 2 and 3 storylines simultaneously. But I don't know. I liked it. It's definitely my favorite Resident Evil movie, but also not some stiff competition there. You know what I mean? Like, I like those Resident Evil movies. They're very nostalgic for me. I grew up watching them. But like, yeah, they're fine. You know, like they're okay. I think they're fun movies. They're crazy as fuck. But yeah, I don't know. I think one day we'll finally get that Resident Evil movie that is so true to the games and the story that it's had. But we just haven't. I just don't think we've gotten that yet, personally. Maybe one day. Maybe one day though. I really appreciate you all still hanging out with me after 2 hours into the stream. I just gotta say, Horror Den, before I get to your comment here, I had a killer weekend hanging out with some buddies, and I just needed a little break from the internet and all that. I needed a little getaway, and I got that, and it was so much fun. I had such a blast, and I love talking with you guys. I love it so much. It makes my day, it makes my week doing these streams, and I don't know, it's just been a blast. It's been a blast chatting with you all today, and I've had such a good time. I just don't want the stream to end. I'm letting it go. I usually only go for like 90 minutes. I'm like, fuck it, man. I'm having a great time. Horror Den is saying, anyone else getting the Funko Games Scream board game? Ooh, I don't know if y'all have heard about this yet, but I'm hyped for it as well. Wish I could, but not too sure when they become available in the UK. I absolutely want to 100% want to get this and try this out. I might do a video where I'm just playing it, you know, where I'm just like, yeah, get the buddies over. I don't know, just kind of have fun playing it. It would be cool, you know. Scream has always been a focus of this channel. I would love to hopefully do that at some point. That would be very cool. I'm gonna look into it though, for sure. Hopefully it comes out in the UK too, so you can play it as well. That would be awesome. What's up, Philip? How's it going, man? What's up? I'm on shift and need a recommendation for a movie tonight. First one that comes to mind. Thanks and stay safe. Of course, Philip. Hope you're doing good. Hope you're doing good on the job. All the best of luck to you, my friend. What I will say, a movie recommendation. I'm going to recommend something really fucked up to you. You know what? Philip, I'm going to be nice. I'm not going to recommend to you the most fucked up thing I can think of, but I will recommend a fun movie for when you're coming off of work and you're just tired. You need something goofy to laugh at because you're like, I just had a long day, I had a long shift. And now I just want to go and do something. I just want to watch something really silly and maybe a little more mindless. I recommend Alligator from 1980. If Jason, if my friend Jason Dyer is still here, I know he will appreciate this. But Alligator from 1980, I think is just a really silly, fun B movie. If you've never seen it, I recommend it. It's a really good, just coming off of work movie. You know, I just need, I just want to put something on because I'm tired and it's got to be goofy. It's a goofy movie. It's so silly. It's very fast paced as well. I think it's a great like after work movie for sure. So check that one out. I don't know. I know it's streaming. Last I checked, it was streaming on Shudder. So I recommend it there, Philip. But if you're feeling something silly, a little more mindless, a little more just like a fun, goofy B movie, I recommend that one. Alligator, 1980. Underrated, unsung movie that not too many people talk about. All the love, Philip. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. And hopefully the shift goes well tonight. Ryan Baxter is throwing $20 in there. Ryan, thank you so much for that support, man. I really do appreciate you. Got to take off. Thanks for a great Monday chat. You always make mundane Mondays awesome. Good, Ryan. That's the goal. That's why we do it, man. That's why we do it, and I just appreciate you for hanging out with us. So, Ryan, thank you for the $20. Thanks for being a KillJoy cult member, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week as well. I know we got through Monday, got 4 more days. Now we're back to the weekend, baby. Just got to make it through those 4 days. So hopefully I could make it a little more fun for you, Ryan. Thank you so much for the $20, dude. I really appreciate that. Really appreciate that in these tougher times when there's not as many big horror releases. It's a little harder, you know, a little harder to do the YouTube. So I appreciate it. I appreciate it a lot. Thank you. Thank you so much. Preach on the Alligator recommendation. This needs a remake. Yes, Horror Den. I'm right there with you, man. Right there with you. All right, y'all. Old Jake's tired. Old Jake does have to get to bed at some point. I still have more to do tonight, which is crazy. I wish I could just talk with you all night. Honestly, I wish that's all I had to do. But old Jake's got to get some more stuff done. We got a crazy week ahead. A lot of things going on. But it's been a blast talking with all of you tonight. Thank you so much for all the support and all that, and hanging out with me for 2 hours. It's been a blast. So as always, don't forget to kill it out there, y'all. And also check out GullGotha, which is formerly Movie Smoothie. We're going to be streaming there next on Wednesday. So make sure to check out that stream. We're going to be playing Resident Evil 4, and it's going to be an even longer stream than this. It's going to be a blast. So all the love to you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. And once again, kill it out there, everybody. Kill it. Have a fun time. Watch more horror movies. All the love. Peace out.